This is the song you sing when Matt Dillahunty is wrapping up the other show. And now they're running the credits over there. And we probably need to update them. I just realized because I'm bad at my job. I'm so bad at my job. That's what people on the internet say who think they could do my job better than me. And maybe they could, but for some reason they never do. They don't even seem to try. Boy, I wonder why. Let's do the show. Let's do the show. Let's find out what the MAGA know. I have a feeling it's not much, but if it's about getting lint out of your belly button, they're my first call. Okay, here's the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Calling It Now, the foremost political call-in show on the entire internet. And it always has been, and everyone has always said that. Certainly, nothing else has ever competed with it. I'm Jimmy Snow, and I'm joined here once again by Ari Mermaid. Ari, hello, Ari. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Just fine. We kind of announced it the other night on Javon's stream, but going forward on Sundays, it looks like for the most part, Ari will be joining me, and Javon and I are going to be moving our dual stream more to probably Tuesday evenings after Chewed Gum. We're going to do a more late night thing, but this fits everybody's schedule considerations much more. Ari likes to work other things, and so schedule is more difficult. And then she's like, here's my availability. It's all the times you have shows on that other channel. Was pretty
literally
much
that's basically exactly what happened. It was just like, yep, sorry, can't help it. There are other things called real life capitalism, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what Ari is basically saying is we need to make this show so successful she need not subject herself to any other capitalist whims because this has her covered.
No, literally, yeah. Like everything, guys, everything needs to be successful outside of work, so I can just not work.
Yep. As though, yeah. And this isn't work, for the record, people. Jimmy Snow's bad at his job and an amazing singer. How come I think you're trying to be ironic both times? Why is that? I feel that that's a double up. No, yeah, it is very funny when all the people who tell me to get a real job, where I'm like, well, first of all, I literally run a company. Second of all, I'm doing better than you are. Third of all, I work harder than you do and much more than you do. So what is it about a real job that you want me to have? Do you want me to be more miserable because I prefer my job to any other job? Is that what it's not a real job unless you legitimately want to end your soul crushing experience of wage cucking for somebody else?
Or it's just like, what do you consider to be a job? Is it just you do something and you get paid from it? Because then that's almost anything that you can do it's literally a job.
Yeah.
And then they have to pretzel themselves into trying to say, well, a real job is where you contribute to society. This is entertainment. And also educational, but it's mostly entertainment.
I don't know if it's mostly educational, but knowing myself, I don't know if I want to make the claim it's also mostly entertaining. Is that what it is? Is that the right word?
Entertainment and educational.
Yeah. It's loud. Is that a category?
Loud? Yeah.
Yeah.
Obnoxious?
Yeah, it's entertainment, education, or sort of loud. Anyway, the reason why it's loud is because we're here to take on the challenges. We are constantly told we live in an echo chamber. We are constantly told that we can't debate, that the reason why Charlie Kirk was killed was because the left couldn't defeat it. Well, here I am, the actual left. Here Ari is, the actual left, ready to argue, ready to debate, ready to actually take on any of these supposed absolutely deathly arguments. Now, I have noticed that right now MAGA is extra reluctant to call. And I think it's because they're starting to realize that their king, their cult leader, is either a pedophile or a pedophile protector. There's not a lot that's better about one than the other. But they seem to be realizing that one of those two things is very likely true. And so they seem to be a little bit more reluctant. I think they're starting to realize maybe we don't have an argument here, and maybe we don't have a good president to defend, but we've made his slogan, his existence, our whole personality, the MAGA, if you will. And so MAGA, if you think you actually can debate, you think you actually can defend, you think you can answer the question, why is Donald Trump still withholding the Epstein files? Why are images that we already know exist with their file names missing from the Epstein files, with the only thing about those images seeming to be that Donald Trump is in them? Why is Donald Trump being treated like a victim of Jeffrey Epstein and all of his stuff being redacted?
He's a victim. Everyone else in there is culpable, but not him. It's just he is the only sole victim outside of the women that were trafficked or the girls that were trafficked. But every other man in the pictures, they're the problem. It's just not him. Everybody look the other way. It's not me. It's them. And then they also went strictly against the letter of the law, where the letter of the law explicitly states that it has to be searchable, and the search function is broken.
Right. And not to mention the date. Why are they breaking the law to make sure you don't actually get the Epstein files? Why have they successfully redacted the names and the information about the abusers and the things that they did? These allegedly a large number of men. Why is it that you can find instances where a victim is actually accidentally not redacted, but the individuals who were attacking and harming the victim are successfully redacted? Why is it that the Epstein files aren't actually exposing any pedophiles, any of the people who were actually sexually abusing people? Why do we not have a single new name? Why is it just, here are his friends, the people he hung out with none of the like, and here is the abuse they did? Do you really, MAGA, can you actually defend Donald Trump? Can you do it? And if you can, call our number. It's right there, 336-543-2101. It's easy to remember, because I know it can be hard to keep track of when you have to switch from the YouTube thing to 336-543-2101.
It was a good countdown with them darn Arabic numerals.
Those darn Arabs with their numbers. My goodness, the way we are. Also, I would love to, if somebody wants to call in and defend that. All I've been seeing all over threads is proof that what happened in Australia is proof that the Second Amendment is superior to Australian gun control. I'd love to see that. I'd love to hear that defense. I'd love to hear somebody actually try to keep a straight face and say that America's gun situation is better than Australia.
When a man without a gun is the one who took down the second gunman, one singular police officer took down the first gunman. And then this is the first mass incident where I think it was more than 5 people were killed in 30 years.
I understand the compulsion. Generally, I like to set them up and not let them know what they're walking into, because then it's like they're going to call and they're going to be like, I know, but I get it. I get it. It's hard not to just be like, you guys are we're ready to take you on. We're ready to take you on, MAGA. Are you there? Let's find out in the chat. And then everybody who is here in the chat, we're going to do a little threadsing and make sure that we get this in front of as many people. MAGA, are you there? And can you debate?
Do you want to build a snowman?
I accidentally wrote F. Hang on. MAGA, are you there? F. F in the chats for MAGA people.
1 vote said no.
Yep. One person got him fast enough.
They're like, nope, not there. We're here, not here.
I'm actually going to write, MAGA, are you here? Let's find out, because I feel like some antagonizers might have falsely voted yes if I left it so open-ended like that. Hey, MAGA, it seems like you can't defend your policies or your president anymore. Which one of you actually thinks you can debate? Because I'm not meeting the 1 million Charlies I was promised. By the way, if you're thinking about calling in, this is the time to call in. At the beginning of the show, it takes a little bit of time, but then once the show goes on, generally the lines fill up and it can be more difficult to guarantee that you're going to get a good spot. So if you're thinking about it, pull that trigger. It's what y'all love to do. Allegedly, 5% of the chat is MAGA. None of you are willing to be, we are Charlie Kirk, we carry the flame. But it's a teeny little Zippo lighter and it keeps going out.
Call in and tell me, just like your Lord and Savior, Charlie Kirk, how I'm supposed to be barefoot pregnant in the kitchen making you dinner.
Right. Why barefoot, by the way?
I don't know.
Specifically barefoot.
It is always barefoot in the kitchen. It's like, I like socks. My feet get cold. I have poor blood circulation sometimes.
But also, like, your trad wife ladies can't get some orthotics?
Yeah, that's true too. I like slippers. I do have slippers.
Let's see. I'm going to put the phone number here. Y'all want to try out some of the algorithm army shit we've flirted with in the past? Y'all want to help out? I'm going to go here and I'm going to throw the link to the episode in the one below.
Someone said post. Barefoot so they cannot run away.
Though if you're barefoot long enough, you just develop foot shoes. There's a whole movement of people. That
is the general consensus in the chat now, is it's barefoot so a woman can't run away.
Yeah, I don't think that ew, let's not bring up Quentin Tarantino.
That's an ouch anyways. Just like, again, guys, like, kitchen tiles are cold. My feet are already cold enough as they are. Like, I need socks and or slippers because otherwise I will just be miserable.
All right, people, I just threw in the chat a link to the thread. Why did the letter V get typed a bunch in my... That was weird. Link to the thread I just posted. Go like, share, all that sort of shit with it. And let's see if we can get some MAGA people in here. MAGA, I'm interested. I want to hear how I'm wrong. I want to hear how leftism is wrong. I want to hear how atheism is wrong. I want to hear how supporting the reproductive rights of women and those with uteruses are wrong. I'm ready now. I'm ready to hear it. Real quick, producer, will you call in and we can... I just realized we didn't test the call system before we got it started. Can you, unless you did it while I was walked away, can you call in real quick and we'll test it? We're going to check on that. 336-543-2101. Do I have to start streaming these verticals on TikTok, you think? I feel like you never have a shortage of callers.
I don't know exactly where all mine come from. I just assume most of them come from YouTube. On TikTok, if they do call in from TikTok, I know the voices because it's the same people that go to all of my mutuals lives. And I hear them day in and day out, and I just want to blink them all upside the head.
Yeah.
Because they're all dumb.
Come on, people, call in. Where you at? 336-543-2101. Hello to the producer who's on the phone right now. Can you hear me okay?
Hello. Yeah, I can.
Yep, that's working.
Your voice is hot. Okay, thank you. Mwah.
That's funny. Yeah, sometimes dual streaming onto TikTok does work. I think I maybe will get like one call a week from Twitch, and that's just a guess.
I'm gonna throw the link to the thread again for people who haven't hit it. Go hit that thread. Let's wedge the... only 8 of you have gone click like. Come on, people. Let's wedge this into their algorithm. Let's absolutely... Can I add the topic? Yeah, I'm going to throw MAGA on there. Also, why has no one tried calling MAGA Maggies? Like, if you feminize anything they love, they'll hate it. They're so easily emasculated. Why is no one calling them Maggies?
That one I don't know. I
Come on,
know
Maggies.
the new thing, well, at least on TikTok, if you have a woman MAGA call in or like try to make a conversation, they call them Hagatha or Haga. And that's just combining hag with MAGA.
Yeah, I like it. I'm I'm gonna try a new poll because allegedly 5% of you. So who's good? Who's good? Able to call and articulate why their position is superior. These words might be too big for some of them. I'm MAGA, but I know speak good. I'm not MAGA. All right. There you go, people. Where are you at, MAGA? This is your opportunity. This is your chance to call in. Who's going to call in? If you're in chat right now and you know that you have somebody in your life who's always talking at you and yelling you down and thinks that they are just so right about the right, send them our way. We got the phone number. We got it. Oh, people, feel free to share this over on X and Truth Social. I don't mind at all. Feel free to put it in all those gross places. Does X have streaming yet?
Yes. I don't know how you access it, but I do remember that during the campaign, someone streamed with Elon Musk. I didn't watch it, but I heard he sounded like he was 3 sheets to the wind.
But that was the audio ones, those audio spaces or whatever. I just don't know if they've got like a proper whatever. I've thought about putting us up on there as well, because on the one hand, do we need more? That's where the Nazis hang out. But on the other hand, it's where the Nazis hang out. It's kind of like, what do we
do you want the extremists just to have
Yeah.
more people, or do you not want the extremists and then potentially run short?
Or potentially like the people who are starting to radicalize toward, some people have said, yes, they will call in, and yet the lines are empty. So perhaps it is the case that MAGA lies. But the polls there in the chat, is anyone MAGA actually able to call and articulate why their position is superior? We've got it for you. 336-543-2101, 336-543-2101. Calling MAGA maggots, I don't think actually does anything to them. That one, they just feel like it's kind of like oh, I'm being oppressed. Oh, you guys are just name calling. But when you go with MAGA, anytime you go with something that's emasculating, it's 100% like more effective than just something that's mildly mean. They don't mind mildly mean. If anything, they try to take notes. But if you suggest that they're gay, for example, they melt down. They melt down. Somebody missed their goal.
No, that was just a big yawn. I was like, I'm still here and I'm awake. Ooh, shoot, apparently. Nah, the team that we were watching and rooting for already won. So that happened. So that was good timing.
Yay, sports.
Yay, sports.
When I wake up, it's similarly, but it's more like, oh, fuck, I'm alive. God, fuck you, damn it. This planet is still this planet. Fuck this place. That's how I wake up every day.
It's still here. And the next day, I do feel that sometimes. Like, oh, I'm still here. I don't know. I wake up and I'm usually up and ready to go. I give myself 20 minutes to get out of bed, get around and get out the door to go to work. I don't waste time. I just up, get moving, done, out the door. And that's it. So I wake up quickly.
Let's change the middle gray title to MAGA lines are open. Where are you at? Or just MAGA lines are open. MAGA, 3% of you now saying you'll call in, but nobody's calling. 336-543-2101. It's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. Like, I get it. How do you defend Donald Trump right now? If you want to call in as a disaffected MAGA and admit you elected, we'll hear you out and we'll want to talk about why did you vote for him in the first place and were those values good? But if you want to say like, look, I'm not Trump anymore because obviously he's a pedophile defender, but I am still Team JD. If you're still Team JD, let's talk about that. If you're up there with Erica Kirk advancing it up right now, we'll talk about it. Give us that call.
I can't deal with like JD is something special.
Yeah.
Just a different line. Oh man.
Go
on. No, what's up?
I was gonna say I got fooled this week too. I have a tendency to now so many people are falling for things that are AI that I've overcorrected in the other direction. And so I have to make a correction from a video we talked about the other day, or when I think I was on with Luxander. I now will overcorrect and assume certain things are AI that are actually real. Like right off the bat, it's like a quick judgment, like, oh, in the first 5 seconds, obviously this is AI, so I'm just going to move on. I did that with the Trump video this week where he essentially was announcing the Hunger Games. The video came up, he's like, I am announcing that one man, one boy, and one girl from each state or territory will be competing. And I literally was like, okay, that's AI, that's funny, moved on. That was real, people. Just so everybody knows.
Okay, I still haven't looked into that. I just heard it. I had immediately, same as you, I immediately just thought it was just a joke. Like, everyone's just joking with me. This can't be a real thing. He's not that dumb. Okay.
They're called the Patriot Games.
Yeah, I did. The Patriot Games. Which
is what you would have expected whoever started the Hunger Games would have called it at first. Like before the Hunger Games, it would have been called the Patriot Games. It's like,
that sounds fair.
And honestly, like, we just watched that movie, what is it called? The Long Walk, based on the Stephen King novel. Do you know what that one is?
Nope, I don't know it, but we'll roll with it.
It's basically the Hunger Games, but different. It's like a person from each. This is supposed to be like a post something America. So it seems like there's fewer states or whatever. I don't know exactly how the country is now mapped out. We do have somebody in the queue. We're waiting for the call screener to take care of getting their info in, and we'll start that call. But essentially, it's that I believe it was all boys in this scenario, but each district like volunteers. And in this case, it's like something a lot of people are eager to do because you want to be. And anyway, they all start at a walking point and then everybody walks until you collapse, essentially. And whoever walks the longest wins, and they win they get like a ton of money and a wish. They get a wish. And they become like famous and all this kind of stuff, and they get a wish. And it's basically the same thing. Like, you're doing it for your country. It's patriotism. It's military ran and all this stuff. And when you collapse or you get 3 violations in a short period of time where you stop for too long, like they kill you. The military, like blows your brains out right there on the ground. So,
that sounds like a lot of fun.
That's the movie. Yeah, it's based on a Stephen King novel. A Stephen King novel that I understand a bunch of preteens don't have an orgy in, which is good. Yeah, I didn't know that about it until recently. That's a weird detail that nobody mentioned. That in the book, it's not even really an orgy. It's more like a train. But it's about 11-year-olds. It's a book about 11-year-olds. And the 11-year-old boys run a train on the 11-year-old girl. It's that's in the book. I'm not writing this, people. There's a very awkward silence here now. So anyway,
no, I know you're not. It's just like I'm processing this and I'm like, wait, Did
you know that about the book It?
No.
That's in it. How is that not like brought up when the It books were coming out or in the movies were coming out? How did nobody bring up like, hey guys, by the way, we might want to give Stephen King a second look because he does have some weird teenage sexuality stuff in a number of his books, but never went. I don't know, never went to Epstein Island, but also was
Are we sure?
right. He did say like, God, you guys who think the Epstein list is coming are so cringe or what, however he put it, some version of that.
Oh gosh,
Remember that?
I love these people. They're amazing. They're so
Don't have
great.
heroes, people. Just so you know, having heroes is a mistake. Always.
I just want to say, just so you know, all famous people tend to suck a little bit.
That's true. That's true. Apparently Ubisoft owns the rights for the games and media usage of Tom Clancy's Patriot games. Oh, so they might get to sue. Who knows? I mean,
Huh. Nintendo didn't even sue.
Donald Trump doesn't let laws get him in the way, get in his way. All right, let's find out. David in Texas. David in Texas, you are on the line with Ari and Jimmy. David, would you like the live chat when they're talking about your call to refer to you as a he, a she, or a they?
I'm just a man.
Right? So what would be the answer to that question?
I'm just a man, dude. You can refer to me as David.
But the
They
live
can
chat
refer
is
to me in
going
the
to
live
use
chat as David.
the live chat is going to refer to you with pronouns because we use pronouns to shorten and simplify language.
They can
So
choose whatever pronoun they would like. Whatever they'd
All
like
right.
to call me, they can call me helicopter.
okay. Well, helicopter's
cool
not a
with that. I'm
pronoun.
cool with
That's not how
I'm
helicopter's
That's
not
a noun.
helicopter's
I'm
not a
hip to
pronoun.
pronouns. I'm hip to
Helicopter's
the
not a
pronoun.
Yeah, I know you keep using pronouns, but you won't say what yours are.
Yeah.
You've literally used pronouns multiple times in this conversation, but you just won't say what yours are. Anyway, they won't use helicopter because that's not a pronoun, but we will give them the instruction you did. You're allowed to call David any pronoun
Cool.
you like. David won't mind you all
Cool.
referring to David as a she, for example, in the chat.
Cool.
Yeah. So, all right,
Yeah.
David, you're here in Texas. That's where I am. What are you calling in about?
Right on.
Hey, Texas.
Well, so then you noticed about a week and a half ago, gas was $2.40.
Uh
You
huh.
notice that in Texas?
Uh huh.
Yeah. So what would you like to discuss? Economy,
Sir,
Would
you're
you
the
like
one
to
calling
discuss?
in. Who did you vote for?
inflation?
Who did you vote for?
Who did you vote for?
Kamala Harris. Who did you vote for in 2022
I
or in
voted for
2024?
Donald Trump.
Who'd you vote for in 20?
Donald Trump.
Who'd you vote for in 16?
I didn't vote in 2016.
How old are you?
50. How old are you?
35.
Okay.
I could be your president now.
All right. Did you vote for George Bush?
No, I voted for
Not old
the
enough
first
for that one.
yeah, the first person I voted for
Yeah.
was John McCain. Then I voted for
And then
Obama.
Obama?
I voted McCain, then I voted Obama versus Romney, then I voted for Hillary, then
Yeah.
Biden, then Harris.
Do you remember when Obama deported 34 million people?
I do.
He
I-
was called a
34
deporter in
million.
chief.
Yeah, it wasn't 34
Well,
million,
I'm
but
gonna
I
go
do.
with it. Go and Google it.
Yeah, it
Oh,
wasn't
3.4,
34 million.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was
Yeah.
the correct number, Ari?
3.4.
No, go ahead. 3.4
Three-
million. Yeah, he
3.4.
was called a deporter in chief.
Yeah, what's the
Do you
difference?
remember that?
Excuse me, hang on.
You remember
Hang on,
all
David,
those,
David,
world
David, 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 David,
violations
David,
he
David,
committed?
David. I've muted you so we can go ahead and correct this now, and then we will continue on with the correction. We're not props. We're not puppets. And in fact, we are excited to hear your positions, but you don't get to call in and talk over us. We will give you an opportunity to speak. So if you're going to ask if we remember something, you must give us the opportunity to respond to our satisfaction, and then we will give you the opportunity in return. Now, I do not support the excessive nature of Obama's deportations. I don't think Obama was a great president or even a good president, nor do I think Biden was, nor do I think Hillary would have been. However, I think they were better than their alternatives. So if you're going to call in and go like just with instead of defending your actual positions, just assume what mine were, and therefore that I think those were good things, you're going to find yourself having a bad time. Because I think Obama, for example, was a war criminal and belongs in prison. So I'm going to unmute you. And now let's have an actual conversation with a back and forth instead of you just saying, do you remember? And then moving on to the next one.
So you're only allowed to ask questions, but I'm not. Is that the rules?
Excuse me, David, that is not what I just said. I said, if you ask me a question, you must give me an opportunity to respond.
Okay.
I'm fine with you asking questions.
So do you support
I am not.
Obama's
I'm not done.
offshore bombing of innocent
I'm not
people?
done. I'm not done. I didn't finish my last answer, and you've already talked
You're
over.
one of those guys.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys who likes to finish their thought, David. Are you not one of those guys?
Dude. Don't get mad.
David?
Don't
David?
get upset.
David, do
one
you
upset
enjoy
was
when
quite
Joe
literally
Biden
you.
said that little children like to touch him in the pool? You remember that part too?
Hey, David, who's the president right now?
This guy was the president, remember?
Hey, David, who is the president right now? David,
do you
are
remember
you
when
capable?
he used to smell
David,
kids' heads? Do you remember
Okay.
he was?
So we're going to mute you again, David, and explain to you how this works. You're calling in as allegedly a MAGA caller who can defend Donald Trump. What you are doing is a fallacy. By the way, you keep getting your facts completely incorrect, right? 34 million and 3.4 million, for example, being completely different. Biden
different.
saying kid like him touching him in the pool just sounds made up or like a tremendous adaptation of something that happened. But David, you're calling in to defend MAGA, and it seems to me that what you are doing right now is an admission that you, in fact, cannot defend MAGA, that you can't. All you can say is, what about? So, David, are you capable of actually defending Donald Trump, actually defending your vote? Now we'll unmute you.
Defend
And we'll see if you'd like to
inflation?
have.
What
Hello.
about
Would you
What
like me
about
to defend
inflation?
inflation?
What about
You
inflation?
tell me. Talk to me about our inflation.
Sure. It went up because of two things. One was COVID.
What is it
Excuse
right
me.
now?
Excuse
Currently
me, David.
2.5.
David.
2.6? And also, if I can,
Okay,
I
2.6.
actually,
Yeah, go ahead, Ari.
have you
Winning.
actually looked? Hi,
Winning.
David.
Okay, David, we're going to mute you every time we're responding because you're incapable of shutting the fuck up and letting us actually respond. And David, this doesn't make your side look good. It makes it look like you can only call yourself the winner of a debate if you don't let your opponent actually express themselves, actually share and respond. That is what children do. That is what babies do. It is what bullies do. I won because you never responded is not a method of victory. So, David, now we're going to have to do this thing where we mute you every time. And when I unmute you, we're also going to have to make sure you listened in the first place. So now Ari is going to respond to your assertions about inflation.
Well, I just wanted a simple yes or no answer, which I'm sure the answer is no automatically if you'd actually pulled up the Bureau of Labor Statistics chart and then noticed that there was only 3 data points inputted for the months of October and November when there's supposed to be 22. So we actually have 19 missing data points. And basically what the Bureau of Labor Statistics did is they divided out all of the numbers by 12 when really the 19 that were missing, the 2 months of data should have been divided by 10. The inflation numbers are skewed.
So, David, please explain to us, why does Donald Trump make sure that they use fewer numbers to assess their inflation if the inflation is obviously definitively better?
Because you're spewing a narrative. That is all you're doing.
Have you looked at the Bureau of Labor Statistics data?
Have you put
ever
gas
looked
in your
at
car?
that?
Have you bought a dozen of eggs? $3.50.
Hey,
Have you bought any beef?
David, what question did Ari just ask you?
I don't think she asked me a question. She stated
She did.
a
She
point of
did.
view.
She did, David.
Yeah,
So what
yeah.
you've proven so far is that you don't listen, you just speak. So now we're going to mute you again and I'm going to educate you. Inflation went up in 2022 and in 2021 because of a few things. Now, first of all, it went up across the world. However, America actually got off easier compared to other countries because we did a few things a little bit better. However, it went up across the world largely because of COVID. The funny thing is in America, we actually also had to account for the fact that our previous president prior to Biden had exploded the deficit by doing something that short term always makes the economy look better, but long term ends up making things worse. So President Biden got to battle not only the inflation caused by Donald Trump fucking up COVID and fucking up our response and fucking up how we're going to do it, but was able to restrict it to less than a lot of the other countries, less than a lot of the rest of the world, but was able to also fight off Donald Trump's caused inflation by the massive tax cuts that he gave to the rich. So then he was able to get inflation down to 3.4% in 2023 and 2.9% in 2024. Right now, through September, the last time that we actually had somewhat decent numbers, though the inflation was actually higher than it was than when Biden left office. Right now, inflation appears to be lower because the Trump administration is restricting the data, which you are able to assess on. Now, I do need to ask you this, because David, you're saying we're spewing a narrative, and yet you're saying you are asking questions about have we bought X, Y, or Z, implying that things are now cheaper than they were. So David, will you please give us a description or definition of what is inflation?
Let me ask you a question.
After you answer
now,
Absolutely
what was
not.
inflation in 2021?
After you,
What was
David,
inflation?
David,
Not as
David,
high as you
graph
think
that
it
you're
was.
looking at,
But
So I have to mute David again because David has just pointed out he didn't listen to what I said, because I actually listed what inflation was in 2021 and what it was in 2022. So David, I already said those numbers and then pointed out that after all of that, after the COVID stuff, we got it down, and that actually Biden got it down to lower levels than Trump did. Now, David, you're going to answer our question. What is inflation?
add up the four numbers in 4 years that Joe Biden was in place, 21%. Add it up.
Okay.
Year over
So,
year. Those
David,
numbers are year
can you
over
tell me?
year.
Let's try this. What is inflation measuring?
Yeah, let's try this. Inflation
No,
from
no.
2021,
Okay.
2020.
See, now I muted you. All right. I've actually been very nice, and I've been letting Jimmy take the wheel on this one. But David, I'm going to need you we need to see if you even understand what inflation is, which is why we're asking these questions, just for an educational standpoint. So let's try this one more time. When you come off mute, which you're going to in a second, you either answer one of two questions. What is inflation, or what does inflation measure? Go.
People know better than your people know better than I do. So go.
I absolutely do know better. Okay, let's try this again. What is inflation?
Pretend I'm stupid and define it to me. Go ahead.
Cool. So inflation is actually what, oh my goodness. I would if you would stop for 2.3 seconds. Cool. So hey, can you tell me when you're going to find
Waiting.
All right, so we've muted David again.
You have the self-control of a goldfish, David.
We are Charlie Cook. MAGA, this is the best you have. David is the best you have, the guy who will not let a person respond, whose debate tactics are just don't let them talk. Demonstrate that I don't know what inflation is. In fact, let's do this, David. We will only continue if you admit whether or not you know what inflation is.
Bird,
David,
remember Richard Bird?
David,
Richard
what is
Bird was a Ku Klux.
All right, so we've muted again.
You are a goldfish.
David, we've muted again. When you come off mute, you will either tell us whether you do or don't, not pretend. You need to tell us definitively, do you or don't you know what inflation is? And if you try to go anywhere else, we will simply end the call and move on because there is no point in talking to you. You aren't actually engaging in a conversation. You sound drunk. You sound emotional. You sound hormonal. This is why you give such a bad look to men. Like your hormones are obviously going rampant. I don't know if it's your time of the month or what the fuck is going on right now, David, but you're being like a hormonal little bitch. So if you'd like to continue onward, you are going to either need to engage actually and in good faith, as we've been trying to do with you, or you can fuck off. So now we're going to give you another shot here, David, and you will just definitively tell us whether you do or do not know what inflation is. You are now unmuted and can respond.
I do not know. I do know Richard Byrd. It was in the KKK.
Great.
What?
So that isn't the conversation. That is you now trying to, David.
Divert.
What is I'm going to give you one more opportunity to stay on with a new question since you didn't follow the rules. What is a Gish Gallop?
Oh, so
Go
there
ahead,
is
David.
rules. See,
David, what is it? David, what?
Conversation.
David, what
you're
is a
upset and
Gish?
emotional
David,
you're
what
on
is
your
a
period.
Gish Gallop? David, oh, that's funny. I wonder where you got that.
Because
I wonder where you. I wonder where you got. I wonder where you got that line of sentences.
With my
what
eyes.
is a Gish Gallop?
Remember, it's probably a show on Netflix where I saw the.
All right. There we go. David, you desperately need to look up and Google what a Gish Gallop is. Because not only is it what you do, you're also bad at it.
That was just so funny. It's probably a show on Netflix.
A Gish Gallop is a show on Netflix.
Mercy
MAGA,
on my soul.
Is that the best you have? I worry that it is. There's your phone number, 336-543-2101. Would anybody MAGA like to actually defend the President of the United States?
And
Donald
not be
Trump.
hysterical?
Is that Charlie Kirk? Is that who we just talked to? We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame. Over 35 of you in chat have said that you are MAGA and will call in. And yet right now, I don't even have a MAGA person, a definitively MAGA person, just a conservative person who wants to, I guess, challenge me on abortion. So here we go. Tony in California. Tony in California, you are on the line with Jimmy and Ari. How are you, Tony?
Okay, first of all, I want to say fish don't gallop unless it's a seahorse. I'm sorry, that's the best Donald Trump impersonation I can do. Good morning, guys, or good afternoon. Congratulations, Jimmy, for hosting the podcast with probably the cutest girl on the internet. How you doing, Ari?
Thanks.
You're making it weird already, Tony.
Okay, no, so hey, I think it was earlier this week on the podcast. You had a caller. It wasn't a very productive conversation for sure. I think the caller was he was just hard to connect with. But you made a comment, and I wasn't sure what you meant by it, and you said it was on the topic of abortion, and you said that you wouldn't stop someone from getting an abortion. Even if, and I'm not trying to quote you. I know I got the words wrong, but but if they were doing it for the reason of the unborn child being black, you would think they were a piece of poop. And I'm just curious to know what you meant by that.
No, I said piece of shit. I said.
Yeah, you did. I didn't know if this was a
prior to First of all, I wouldn't make abortion illegal. Period. And prior to sentience. I don't think that that abortion is moral or immoral, that abortion is entirely amoral, and there's not even a moral consideration prior to sentience. And then the person was trying to come up with like, okay, but what if the person wanted to do an abortion on the basis of blah, blah, blah? And I went, no. So they were trying to come up with an extreme thing. So I went with something that I thought would make a person a piece of shit to do, but still would not prohibit them from getting an abortion for that reason. So I would not prohibit a person from getting an abortion just because the reason they wanted to get that abortion is otherwise they wouldn't have gotten the abortion except for they don't like what the race of the child is going to be. And and as you pointed out, I didn't say poop, I said shit. I said that person is a ginormous piece of shit if that is the only reason they would do it. But much like I don't think I wouldn't make it illegal to cross the road because there's somebody on your side of the road of a race that you want to avoid. I don't think an abortion pre-sentience has any more physical or moral significance than that action does. And I wouldn't make it illegal to cross the road. In a lot of ways, I think you're sparing the people of that race from your existence with crossing the road, and perhaps sparing a thing that would become a sentient being from your motherhood or fatherhood were you to bring that child to bear. So that is that there is no, you're not going to be able to come up with a moral situation in which I would prohibit a person from getting an abortion, because I wouldn't even prohibit for people doing things that I am morally opposed to.
Oh, okay, so it's just a basic statement saying that you're against racism, and I think we're on the same page. I agree with you on that. I thought it might have been something a little deeper, but I got you. Okay.
But you also don't agree with allowing people abortions for any reason, isn't that correct?
Me? No, that's not necessarily correct. I think I have here's my opinion on the whole topic. I think like in the early stages where I could understand why someone might not think it's a person, you know, I could understand that. I still disagree with that doing it because I believe it's an actual living, you know, human being. That being said, I think there are probably better ways to. I don't think we're ever going to stop abortions. But I think there's education. I'd rather see better education, and maybe to help limit the amount of abortion. I think that's a better way of dealing with abortion. So
Tony,
you make it illegal. There's an argument.
Tony, what do we know is the number one way to reduce the utilization of abortion?
Reduce the worldwide. You mean having to use abortion as? I'm sorry, man. Explain to me what you mean.
Sure, Tony. Other countries have some rate
right.
of quote unquote unwanted pregnancies. What do we know are the ways most easy to significantly reduce people needing to have abortions? How do you most easily go about that?
Well, I think the reason why, and I'm not speaking for everyone out there. I'm not speaking for all the women out there, but I think it is, for a lot of people, it is an easy thing to do.
Tony, I don't think you understood the question. Tony, hang on.
You didn't
I don't think you understand the question I asked you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to ask again.
Okay.
I'll try and simplify it, okay? Legitimately.
Please.
I'm not trying to like dunk on you. Okay. Right now,
I don't think so. Yeah.
Abortions happen at some percentage in our country. In other countries, it happens at a lower percentage. What do we know are the things you can do to achieve that lower percentage that other countries have?
Well, what are other countries doing, I guess? I don't know.
What I'm asking.
I don't know the answer to that.
And so if you're going to be a person who's going to participate in the political world, you're going to vote, you're going to support different people, and you're going to be supporting a pro-life movement, don't you think you should know those things? What is the proven ways? I'll tell you what they are now, Tony, and then maybe I'll let the woman speak on abortion. Maybe, we'll see. But for a treat. But Tony, we know that comprehensive sex ed, universal health care, and free access to contraceptives dramatically reduce abortion. So if you give people free birth control, you give men free vasectomies, you give people free access to condoms, and you make sure that their reproductive care is taken, or just in general healthcare is taken care of, you'll actually get two things that happen. One, fewer unwanted pregnancies will happen, and two, more wanted pregnancies will happen. Because if you actually support the welfare and healthcare of your population and make the people feel like they're not born into a hellscape that is hopeless, people will actually have kids that they want to. And more people, when it's like, oh, I'm pregnant, will actually go with the, I wasn't necessarily planning on it, but this is fine. So literally everything gets better if you just accept that people have sex, you abandon abstinence-only education, you give children comprehensive sex ed, you give everyone access to contraceptives. All of those things get better. And yet, almost everything I listed is something that Trump, Project 2025, and the pro-life movement is against.
Okay. When I was a teenager, some many years ago, we had access to all that. The condoms, I mean, condoms aren't hard to get. I don't know I don't think people are not getting vasectomies because of the cost.
You are incorrect.
I'm not sure what the vasectomy costs, but I'm not sure if they're doing all that.
You're 100% incorrect.
Okay.
There's two reasons why they don't. One, stigma around vasectomies, which doesn't exist nearly as much in other countries. In America, we are emasculated by absolutely fucking everything. If the sun is slightly pink in the atmosphere, we find it too gay and we stay inside. Like, that's how easy it is to emasculate an American man. So the stigma around vasectomies and the cost of vasectomies are the two things that are most keeping people from getting vasectomies.
I would say 3 might be the fear of pain in that area.
Yeah, there's sure. Yeah, poor education.
I mean,
it only hurts for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
I've known several people who've gotten them. I don't know. I mean, there's some discomfort, but it was never like well, I couldn't afford it before, or anything like that. And as far as like the education, I think the absence education should be done at the home or in a private school where you're paying for that. Sex education should be, I mean, that's about the reproductive system, right? This is how it happens. This is what happens. The fertilization, everything that goes along.
It's not, but Tony, it's not purely robotic. It also says, and by the way, your hormones for most people are going to start screaming at you, and you're going to want to start putting things in other things. And you should be educated on how to do that safely, because if you're not educated to do that safely, you are vulnerable to two things. One, putting them in unsafe places, and two, being abused and not having the language to identify that you're being abused or tell other people you're being abused. This is why comprehensive sex education is a public service and absolutely should be done in the public schools and should start very young. If you start younger, you actually reduce abuse because ignorant children learn that certain things are abuse and are able to then tell somebody that they are being abused.
Yeah, I mean, the whole, I mean, I'm not against teaching about how to not get pregnant, with condoms, with the use of condoms or contraceptives or any,
your
or
president
any of that.
does. Your president, the platform that your president is on, the Project 2025 platform that is going into effect is abstinence-only education, not educating people, and straight up lying. I had my sex ed in Florida, and we were told that having anal sex creates new STDs. Like that's what happened when I had my early sex ed in Florida.
I had my sex ed class in Texas, and I don't know, maybe it was just a teacher, but I feel like I actually learned stuff. Mostly they just were basically like, if you have any kind of sex, you'll just get an STD.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a cool sex ed teacher in Wyoming. By the time when I was in high school, I had a cool Wyoming one, but my Louisiana sex ed was full of misinformation. My Florida sex ed was full of misinformation, and my Tennessee sex ed. Those are the main states I went to school in at sex ed ages. And yeah, it was all fucked up as fucked. I don't think I've ever said that all in sequence. Well, you get like starting in third grade, you get like a week every year. In Tennessee, anyway, you got a week of third grade, a week of fourth grade, a week of fifth grade, and then
No, my first class ever and my only class was 7th grade in Texas.
Wyoming, it was in Wyoming you have to take a year or 2 years of physical education, 2 years of PE and 1 year of a health, 2 credits of PE and 1 year of a health credit, and the health credit included a whole quarter of sex education. It was actually what originally I was going to go to school to become a gynecologist, and it was that health class that made me want to deliver babies and treat the reproductive system. Anyway, I went on a different path. Obviously,
You know, I'll be honest. I don't even remember sex ed. Like when I say that, I don't even remember like the class or the where they covered that in health. I guess that would be what class? Health class. I honestly don't recall ever going through a class like that. So
your vote for Trump makes
weird,
more sense anyway. by the hour.
Oh man, you guys are funny. Well,
So Tony, do you
go ahead? Go ahead.
First of all, Ari, do you have any discussion about the abortion topic that you want to have with Tony before we move topics?
I mean, I guess I'm just curious.
No, man, I was just wanted to. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ari.
Yes, thank you.
So Tony, I was just curious, how does someone in, let's see, you're in California. How does somebody in the state of Vermont having an abortion personally affect you?
Well, it doesn't really personally affect me in that way, but here. I guess here's how it affects me, and this is probably something that you probably won't understand. But I feel that once it's conceived, it's an actual living person, and so I feel for that living being, whether or not it could it could actually feel what it's going through during an abortion or whatnot. So I don't know if it affects me in that manner, other than like you hear about a girl who got raped on the subway in New York. It doesn't really affect me, but I still have sympathy, for that girl. So that's how.
Is that why the rapes in New York are happening?
No, I just made up something wherever they might be, wherever it might happen in the world.
I wonder why you went with that example. I wonder what image in your mind when you think of crime.
I could have said murder. Like that girl who got killed on the bus, right? I mean, I don't know where. I forget where that was. I didn't know the girl. It didn't affect me. It didn't cost me any money. But you kind of like, all right, that's what a horrible thing.
I'm not surprised that's the next example that you came up with of when you're just thinking of crime. I got to go with the ones that the white supremacists are platforming is systemic.
No, go give me an example that wouldn't be offensive to you, and I'll tell you if I agree with it. I'm just making up.
I'm merely observing that there's a cliche nature to the things that you come up with as crimes, but you're describing non-sentient beings that are subsisting and violating the bodily autonomy of other individuals if they don't want them there. And you've literally admitted that it's a vibes thing for you, that you would have other people make decisions based on your vibes. You believe they are a living, okay, I agree, living person. If we're going to just go with Homo sapien, sure, but being, now we're describing like personhood, and absolutely not.
No.
Yeah, that's what I believe. And
it's fine if you believe that.
A vibe thing. I guess we could all.
Tony, did you ever learn about biology and the human anatomy and like pregnancies? I'm curious to know do you know how many fertilized eggs don't even implant?
Yeah, I've heard that, and there's also a natural people have
heard that
miscarriages all the time, right?
Sir, that's not an answer to the question I asked. You know how many? What percentage?
I have no idea.
Over 50% don't even implant. Do you know how many pregnancies end in a miscarriage before 12 weeks?
Number wise, I don't. I know it happens. but I don't know the
30
number.
to 50%. So even if you go in
Okay.
the middle saying 40%, the majority of pregnancies don't even make it past the point where it's actually considered a fetus and no longer a zygote or an embryo.
Okay. So that's why I say I understand, like, how some people could come to that, feel it's okay in the early stages. I understand, like, the thought about that. But let me ask you this: at what stage is there a stage that you might say, okay, you know what, now the baby's responding to sound and this or that you might say, you know what, okay, it's now a person. Is there any stage
Tony,
along the pregnancy where
you saw my clip from earlier this week, so I'm surprised you didn't hear when I said it's actually more important. Abortion not being prohibited is more important because late stage abortions are some of the most important things we need to protect. Do you remember why I said that is the case?
Gosh, dude, no, I do not. But
So
I'm all ears.
Abortions that are just because of unwanted pregnancies exclusively happen within the first 24 weeks before sentience. And even before that, it's usually before the 12th week. Okay. So, or as Ari just pointed out, I think the embryo usually is considered a fetus around week 9. Right. And so they're
12.
even happening before then.
It's 12 weeks. That's when it becomes a fetus.
Sure. Okay. So it's not a fetus upon conception is what you're saying. It's not a fetus.
Yeah. 12 weeks would be if you are counting from the last menstrual period. But I do think. Correct. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
So it's actual fetal development. It's 8 to 9 weeks. If you're counting from the last menstrual period, it's 11 to 12. Okay. I was like, I'm positive. I don't think you would get this wrong, but I'm positive my number's right. So anyway, that's how the numbers are. Okay. So most of them happen in that period of time, certainly pre-sentience. Doctors are not comfortable giving abortions, and doctors who have done fucked up stuff, the judicial system has taken care of those people. Okay? And there's not many. The late-term abortions are just life-saving or suffering reduction abortions. So the late-term abortions are, you do this, you'll die because of this situation that's popping up. The only safe way to do this is this way. But then but most of the time, even like a late stage abortion isn't even killing it, where it's like, hey, the number one type of late stage abortion is we need to deliver this baby early, because if we allow continued development every day, the risk gets higher. Then from there's unfortunately this situation has happened. Your fetus is already unviable at this point. We should just go ahead and deliver because, again, dangerous. And in a lot of those cases, we're going to C-section remove what is your dead fetus. Then from there, the ones that we think about where it's like, oh my God, that was a living fetus that they went and they put to sleep. They euthanized it, whatever word you want to use, and then they delivered it. That abortion is probably the most important, compassionate, and empathetic abortion that you can offer, because almost all of those situations are to prevent the baby dying, massively suffering the moment it is delivered and no longer running off of the mother's system. One such condition is where the baby is born without kidneys. And because they are born without kidneys, the blood backs up into their lungs and they literally drown on their own blood. The only life they know is drowning in front of their devastated mother, who wanted that baby so bad, who has done 9 months of development with that baby and wanted that baby. And if she does not have a right to a late-term abortion, her option is to deliver and watch it drown. That's what late-term abortions, not letting the government get in the middle of, are protecting. That's what they're protecting. They're not protecting that somebody at 8 months and 3 weeks goes, you know what? Fuck this kid. I don't want it anymore. Because even then, the doctor would say, okay, then we will deliver it and we will put it up for adoption. The doctor still considers that baby their patient at that point. So literally, there is no good reason to put the government in the middle.
Is there any point where, let's say not 8 months 2 weeks or whatever, that would not apply to where you would be like, I don't know about that one.
There is no
I'm
point
giving,
where
my wife was actually born 3 months, I believe 3 months early. So that would,
David,
that
there's
would put her
no
at
point
6
that I would
months.
put the government between a doctor and a mother, period.
Yeah, the Hippocratic
No,
oath that
I mean
doctors
just
take.
abortion. Just
Hang on.
So when
Go
the
ahead, Ari.
Hippocratic oath that doctors take is automatically going to
Right.
revert back to do no harm, right? So if what I think
Right.
you're trying to get at, Tony, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is that you're trying to say is if a woman is 8 months pregnant, wants to get a abortion because she no longer wants that baby, period, that would be against the Hippocratic oath if it's a healthy fetus, right? The doctor is
Right.
just going to deliver the baby, as Jimmy already went over, and it'll be put up for adoption at that point because you can just sign away your rights as a parent, right? That's all that
Right,
would
right.
do. And so as long as things like the Hippocratic oath, do no harm, exist within our medical society, we do not need laws to doctrine that even further.
So I get that. I understand everything you said there. So are you saying that otherwise doesn't happen where a young girl who's let's say further along cannot go into Planned Parenthood or whatever else that may be called across the country and not get an abortion?
No, they can't. Especially
that
with
what
the
you're
laws
saying?
that are currently, they cannot, especially with the laws that are currently in society. And if they
Okay.
did, the doctor would be held on criminal charges and probably lose their license.
Okay, well that's pretty interesting. Where do you stand on that? If the law, if there wasn't a law that would make it illegal
The
to do so?
Hippocratic oath. Again, I'm just going to revert back
No,
to
where-
that. As long as we have that thing in place, we're good.
Sure, but where do you stand on it? Not if the Hippocratic oath wasn't there, if the law wasn't there, what would be your opinion on it?
If
So
the
a
fetus is
6 month- a 6
viable,
month
then
pregnant-
again, if the fetus is viable, it's healthy, the mother no longer wants it, you deliver, and then you give it up for adoption. Because, see, people have a misinterpretation of what an
Okay.
abortion is. The definition of an abortion to begin with is just the termination of a pregnancy, which could also just mean the end of a pregnancy, right? So delivering a baby would be a termination of a pregnancy.
Well, that's an interesting. I've never heard that. I've never heard it. I've always assumed an abortion was an abortion. You go in there and they do whatever to the fetus and extract it and it's killed in the process. I never associated the word abortion with early delivery. But even still though, so you're saying that this is your opinion on something, if that's okay to ask. If someone was 6 months pregnant and for whatever reason their boyfriend left them, whatever the reason might be, and they went into a clinic and it was legal and there was no Hippocratic oath, what's your opinion on that 6-month-old fetus?
That it's between them and their doctor.
Yeah, I can't really dig
No,
further
what's
into
your
it.
opinion on the fetus? On the fetus, on the baby itself. What's your opinion on that? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I'm going to say this real quick. I think the fact that you're just so digging like 10 tones down, digging into the idea that this actually happens when this is maybe an occurrence that happens once an entire year across the entire world is just an insult to women or individuals with uterus that are capable of giving birth.
I wasn't.
Yeah,
I wasn't.
Tony,
that's not at all what I was getting. I wanted to know
Tony,
what your
Tony, let's
opinion
say,
of the.
Let's say
Go
that
ahead.
I agree that is a mistake to abort. That I would hope a person would consider that more and not on such arbitrary that I'm like, that thing's sentient enough that I think you should stick it out if there's no other circumstance add on top of it. I don't think that's what my opinion is, but let's say that is what my opinion would be. That doesn't mean I would tell that I would involve the government. That doesn't mean I would say, therefore, she should not be allowed to. Because on the one hand, I don't think the government belongs in that room with the doctor and the patient, period. But two, if we do that, the problem, the number of negative things that are going to happen, the number of deaths, the number of things that are going to be bad for fetuses and bad for women will be far higher because of the prohibition on abortion than they will be because there was a person who slipped through the cracks and used used it to their advantage for something that was immoral, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think I'm with you on like the government pushing certain things.
But you're pro-life. Pro-life doesn't mean that.
Oh no, I am pro-life, but I'm pro-life in the fact that I believe that unborn child has personhood. In that matter, I'm pro-life.
It literally doesn't.
I would.
But here's the thing. Tony. Here's the thing I'm going to tell you.
Go ahead.
And this is the thing that I feel like blows so many MAGA people's minds. I don't believe you have the right the fetus that you think the fetus has. And you are a living person. You are alive. Right. You definitely have personhood and sentience. But if the only way to keep you alive would be to reconnect you to your mother and connect the tubes back up, and even if she consents to it initially and says, my son, Tony, I will keep you alive. You can use my kidneys. You can use my liver. You can use and the two of you are tied together now by this stuff. I still believe even in that scenario, she has the right at any point to withdraw her consent and let you die and not let you to continue to subsist off her body, because if she can't take away her consent, it's not consent in the first place. If I'm in a coma and they think I'm brain dead and I'm keeping you alive, Tony, so there's not actually like a problem to me to consider, but then it turns out I wasn't brain dead and I wake up and you're subsisting off of me, I also believe you no longer have the right to keep my body for your purposes, and I have the right to stop you from doing that. Even though you will die, you do not have the right to subsist off of another person's body without their consent. So you have full personhood, Tony, and I don't believe you have the right that you believe a fetus has to stop a human from subsisting off of them.
No, I would agree 100% with everything you said there, but I think that's
no, you wouldn't.
That's an apple and oranges comparison.
You believe it's literally the exact comparison. You can't get closer to that.
No, because you're not reattaching. It's like giving birth and going, oh shit.
I already said, Tony, I already said your mother consented to it. In the same way that pro-life people believe mothers consent to having a baby by having sex, your mother consents to save your life and reattach.
Right.
To put those organs in and do this natural process and make you dependent on her, and that she still at that point has the right to withdraw her consent.
If you think,
after you're already hooked up, after you're already rehooked.
Tony, yeah. If you think Jimmy's hypothetical,
okay, all right.
If you think Jimmy's hypothetical is ridiculous, your hypothetical is even more ridiculous. That somehow we're getting rid of the Hippocratic oath that exists for doctors today. Like just putting that out there. You think his argument's ridiculous? Yours is ridiculous. That was your hypothetical.
Where did I say we were getting rid of the Hippocratic oath? Where did I say we should get rid of the Hippocratic oath? I didn't know. I said if it didn't. I wanted to know what his
Tony, you weren't.
opinion
maybe you
was
need me to repeat it with a male voice. Fetus. Maybe you need me to repeat it with a male voice, Tony. Ari just explained to you that how is Jimmy's hypothetical crazy, but yours, where your hypothetical removed the Hippocratic oath, yours was somehow anchored in reality. That was what Ari just said to you. And then you said, I never said get rid of it. She didn't say you did. She said you presented a hypothetical that got rid of it.
Yeah, but my and thank you for doing that. Now I understand. LOL. I'm just kidding, Ari. I think I understood you. I was asking that question if it didn't exist, what your opinion was, because I know from a legal standpoint of view, from the law point of view, and all that. But if that wasn't there, what would be? My objective was to find out what your opinion was on a 6-month-old unborn baby or fetus or whatever you want to call it. So
again, the government
that's
has
what
no need to get involved.
I think I agree with that. I think I started off saying I'd rather see better education, and then maybe better alternatives like adoption. I think adoption's a great thing. You know what I wish they would do a study on? Because
adoption is the alternative to parenting, not the alternative to being pregnant. Not being pregnant is literally the alternative to being pregnant.
So I wish there was a study, because Ari, I know you'd be all over this. You'd know the insides and out of this. That's one of the things I appreciate about you. You seem to do a lot of research on a lot of topics. I mean, I've seen you
Tony,
drop bombs
I just
on
hate
people.
preamble. How many kids do you have, Tony?
I have a few of them, but hold on.
How many? No, real quick. How many, Tony?
Okay, I have several.
Should we just name? How many children do you have?
Just pick a number. Why does that matter? Why does that matter?
Why does it matter to you that you not tell me?
17.
Okay, 17 minus a few.
Okay, Tony, how many of your children? What percentage of your children are legally adopted?
0.
Right. So the people who want people to rely on adoption are always the ones talking about they're people who have children and apparently have the resources to raise children, but they're not going and relieving the system. They're not going and taking children out of. We already have an overabundance of children who never get adopted. And yet you're sitting there and going, we want to flood it with several 100,000 to potentially millions more children that won't instead of abortions.
Here's what you're not realizing, though. Here's what you're not realizing, though, is every time that my wife said I'm pregnant or I think I'm pregnant, it was followed by "damn it again." So go ahead. So
you are further acknowledging that you have the commodity to not have, basically, you're lamenting that other people are getting abortions instead of putting them up for adoption, but you are only having your children because you're forced to, but you are glad you have the choice to not take care of children that need adopting. That there's no agency out there, there's no government going, hey, we've assessed your income and we believe you can support 2 children, so you will be taking 2 children whether you want them or not, and adopting them. I imagine you're very glad that nobody is forcing you to adopt these children that you believe must be forced into the world.
No, your Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. No, come on, man.
You think that was a Jedi mind trick is crazy.
You guys are so far off. You guys are so far off base. But anyways, I just want, so that's why I asked that question on if there was a limit to where you would consider the child, the unborn, the fetus, having personhood. I don't think you answered it, but that's fine.
I already gave you that. If we're going to do a dumb hypothetical, I'll just say, let's give you the best answer that you are hoping to get out of it. I gave you the best one you could possibly want. Since you're going to give a hypothetical question, I gave you a hypothetical answer. The best one you could want was, let's say I agree it's immoral. I still wouldn't make it illegal.
I know that. But the question was, would it be immoral?
Tony, why have you been yelling this whole call? Can you talk?
I don't think I've been yelling at all. I thought we've been having an incredible conversation. I thought you guys have been quite polite. I thought I've been quite courteous as well.
Can we take the volume down, though? It's just occurring to me that this entire call, I've been speaking like this. And Tony, this is just to show you what it's been like. This is like if I had been giving you back and be like, and people are not getting abortions before this period of time arbitrarily. Like, this is literally. So I'm just asking if we can take it down there, Tony. Okay, thank you.
You sound like you're at
So,
an 8 out of a 10, and we need you to take it down to at least a 6.
Yeah.
well, that's the best compliment I got from a pretty girl all day. So thank you.
Well, MAGA people will think
Anyways,
anything is a compliment, apparently. That was not a compliment.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, man, you guys, you try to give someone a compliment and then you get an insult right back. You guys are king.
But because you shouldn't.
I'm sorry, hold on.
You shouldn't be complimenting women that you don't have a rapport with in that way.
Oh, come on.
What?
Ari, I apologize if I've offended you in such.
Nobody's talking about
a manner.
offense. No one's talking about offense. I'm literally just telling you, man to man, that you are making presumptions that you shouldn't be making, and that Ari's not on this show hoping that some fucking dude with a bunch of kids is going to call in and hit on her. She'd like to talk about whether or not she has reproductive rights, and I don't think she gets any comfort from you expressing what you're imagining for you and her. Like, maybe treat her like a person.
You guys are, and I'm sorry, I didn't.
What are we guys?
Like king of the sidestep or whatever. Ari, I apologize if that offended you. And
no one was ever talking about offense.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing that was said. I am curious though, Tony, just do you agree or disagree with the death penalty?
Do I agree or disagree with the death penalty?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, I go back and forth on this one. I do, because there are people who have gone to the gallows who were innocent, and there were people who have gone to the gallows who probably didn't deserve the death penalty. Now, if you're asking me if I could pull the lever, and I know that's not what you're asking me, so I really don't know. That's a hard question for me to answer.
Okay. So I mean, we'll say this. I don't know the offenses of all these people, but Donald Trump, during the summer, pushed through an EO that said, "Yeah, let's push through the death penalty on 1,500 cases of individuals that were in federal prison." Right. We'll just assume all of them were convicted of murder. Do you agree with the death penalty?
You know, like I said, if I don't know. I don't know if it happened to someone. Let's say one of these crimes were committed to someone I knew and loved. I think my emotions probably would override anything, and I'd be the one pulling the lever, right? But at this point, I really do not know. I can't honestly answer that question. What's your opinion on it?
No to the death penalty.
Okay. I don't believe in big government like that, bro.
Yeah, okay.
I don't believe in big government. I don't believe.
Either.
Yes, you do. Yes, you fucking do. You voted for Donald Trump.
No, I don't.
Donald Trump has massively expanded the powers of the government. Way more than Obama has, way more than anybody. And specifically, I don't believe in government power when it comes to your right to life, your right to live, your rights to believe, and all that sort of shit. And voting for Trump is voting for more intervention on personal life, making sure that you are as dependent and as appreciative as him as possible to make sure you can financially succeed. He's literally choosing the winners and the losers when it comes to companies and shit. And so if your company is one he favors, it's going to succeed. And if not, it's going to fail. And if you're a small company, because of his dumb tariff shit, you're probably just going to fail because his tariffs are putting small businesses out. But he gets to say, but the economy is stronger than ever, because what's doing better than ever? Fucking NVIDIA. Tony, if you had to give a letter grade A through F to Donald Trump's presidency, what would you give it?
Oh gosh, that'd be like trying to give a grade. If I was a teacher,
would it be P for pedophile protection?
For the first couple of weeks of the semester.
It is not the first couple of weeks. We are almost a fourth of the
No,
way through his presidency. If this was college, his freshman year is almost finished. And it's not even his freshman year. This is his first year of grad school because he already did a 4-year program.
Exactly.
Are you
he
joking?
was already president once.
Hold on. I want to go back to what.
Jesus Christ. The way you will lower, the MAGA people will lower their standards for their people. But then, like, if you so much as breathe funny or wear a yellow suit, you have destroyed the country when it's their opposition is fucking hilarious.
Here, what's the grade that you would give Joe Biden?
Hold on. Let's try to be. Let's say we're at a dinner party and we're having a conversation. Let's try not to insult each other. We're just talking. Maybe I can get something from you guys.
Ask anyone I've ever been to a dinner party with, because so many people like to get in shit passive aggressively. If people try to take it there, I don't change who I am. I don't believe in society's all let's be performative about our personality and our values.
Okay.
And out in the world, let's just lie to each other all like crazy.
No one's insulting you.
So
it wasn't even a direct insult. The fact that you found it insulting is very telling.
What was the point?
Here, let's try it this way. Give the last 4 presidents grades, right? So that would be Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. Give them each a grade. Let's start with Obama. What is the grade you would give Obama?
Obama. Well, see, I have different opinions. I have different belief systems. So with Obama, I would probably on the way he presents himself and he talks and he speaks. He's a very intelligent person. But I don't.
A+ on speech. Got it.
Were you looking for articulate? Was that the word you were looking for?
Very articulate. Yeah.
Yeah. Super articulate.
Yeah. So he get an A there. I don't know. Give him an A. Give him an A+.
Okay.
I was going to vote for Bernie Sanders too, by the way, just so you guys know. Go ahead. A+.
So A+ to Obama for his presidency.
Gross.
Okay.
That war criminal? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. First term Trump. Trump's first term. What would you give him?
Yep. I think Trump also got an A+ on his first term.
Okay. Biden's term in presidency.
I think he handled things very, very well during the COVID thing. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay. Biden's presidency. Grade him.
Oh gosh. I don't think Biden was all there. I think Biden was. He just was not all there. He. Well, you know.
A, B, C, D, F. Which letter are we giving?
I give him a D. I would give Biden a D because he did a few things that I really didn't like when he tried to push the yada yada yadas. I don't want to say the word because I think you get banned. And try to push all the legislation to get everyone had to get the yada yada yadas. They had to have a yada 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 passport and all that. So that was a really scary.
What the fuck are you talking about? Vaccines? Are you afraid of the word vaccines?
The COVID shot.
Oh, yeah, that's only a TikTok thing. We're not on TikTok. TikTok is fucking.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So the COVID vaccine.
The COVID shot that Donald Trump takes credit for.
You know,
which also he ruined his own credibility because he also told people not to take it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now the COVID. I don't know if he told people not to take it. He said it's up to you if you want to take it or not. But the one thing that I will give Donald credit for is the what did you call that? Operation Warp Speed. Because I feel that if he wouldn't have done that, then we might still be all wearing masks, separating 6 feet, not being able to go into stores without wearing a mask, and
Yeah, thank you, Germany.
and all that. And yeah, why Germany? Well, go ahead.
Why? Because
I don't want to get
Operation
sidetracked.
Warp Speed was copied from their Operation Lightspeed.
Yeah, I don't think the shots worked like how
In fairness, Donald Trump gets a lot of ideas from Germany.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's
unfortunately,
fine.
that's like the one good one that I think we can give Germany credit for, at least.
Yeah, I mean,
Tony,
he saved the world.
I'm going to be honest,
He
Tony.
saved the world with those shots, right?
I think we're going to move on, Tony. I don't find you to be like, I don't, we've hit this wall where I'm like, you've got conspiracy brain about a lot of stuff. You're very clearly overwhelmed by media narratives. And at this point, it's just like, where do we go from here? Because I feel like I'm talking to ChatGPT if it was only trained on Fox News.
Yeah, and if you don't like abortions, I have two pieces of advice for anybody that disagrees with abortion being legal. One, don't get with a pro-choice woman. So don't boink a pro-choice woman. Don't fuck her, whatever. I don't care what word you use there. Two, don't get an abortion for yourself. Problem solved.
Okay, well, thanks for the words of wisdom, guys. You guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I'll catch you guys on the airwaves.
All right.
Okay, bye, Tony. And for the record, I like Ari's point was great, but as a man, I feel like I have to add to it. That includes going on Tinder and lying and saying you're a moderate when you're a conservative. That would be trying to boink a pro-choice woman.
That's true too.
Yeah, we know what you're doing.
They do it all the time. Or don't be that asshole that says, I'm looking for a serious relationship when all you want is a hookup. Women do that too. So it's not just men, but don't be that asshole either way.
Yeah. Also, baby, don't use dating apps.
Yeah, they suck.
Like, I think it's crazy that we haven't had a bigger conversation about them. Think about it. For a dating app to be its most, these are things that are publicly traded now. Right? These are billion-dollar companies. For a dating app to be the most financially successful, what would the algorithm do most successfully? Pair you and use parameters in an algorithm that gets you satisfaction enough to return to it, but you never really leave? Or actually find you a good match in so much that you no longer need a dating app?
Yeah, eventually it would be deleted.
Right. Which one would a successful dating app do? And the fact that so many people are just like, well, it didn't work last time, but I got to head back to Tinder for this thing. Like, there's a reason why you're finding yourself returning to Tinder so often.
Yeah, I've never been on Tinder. Thank God for that shit.
I've been there. I had one relationship from there actually was fine. And then one ended up being the worst mistake of my fucking life, relationship wise. Becoming a YouTuber would be the non-relationship related mistake. Okay, let's talk to Chuck in Ohio. Chuck in Ohio, you are on the line with Jimmy and Ari. Chuck, would you like our audience in the chat to refer to you as a he, she, they, or something else?
I'm a he.
Great. And how old are you, Chuck?
41.
Cool. Who'd you vote for last election?
Oh, presidential, probably, we'll go with Trump.
What about the two presidentials prior to that? Was it Trump all three times?
No, I voted for Trump the last two. The first time I wrote in Bernie.
Cool. So against Biden, but for Hillary, you voted Bernie. So basically,
I'm sorry. Yeah, my apologies. I kind of perceive Biden as a third-term Obama.
You perceived Biden as a
useless
third-term Obama. He was just useless. Okay, so Chuck's 41, Trump, two-time Trump voter. And what would you grade Donald Trump's presidency? A, B, C, D, F.
Ooh, good question. He's done a lot of things I dislike. I didn't like the big, beautiful bill thing, the hemp.
Okay.
I would say C. He's done.
C.
a lot with Robert Kennedy through the Make America Healthy Again. I really like.
Sure. What would you say is the number one reason you suspect he seems motivated to protect? Sorry, I won't use the word protect. That feels like I'm influencing the answer. Why did he put so much effort into obstructing and putting off the release of the Epstein files? And then subsequently, why has his Department of Justice now broken the law in the ways in which it is given what it's calling the Epstein files? What would be your estimation?
So the grades, this is a significant factor. I'd like to give him grace, but he really dropped the ball there. And
would you say the most likely reason is he is a pedophile, he protects pedophiles, or something else?
I think it's something else. I don't think he's a pedophile.
Do you acknowledge that his actions have protected pedophiles? For example, not only is it protected, it's even given comfort to pedophiles in the form of getting Ghislaine Maxwell's prison accommodations upgraded?
Yeah, this is the thing I strongly disagree with. I think he's dropping the ball here. I think we need to see the ball. List. You need to understand.
Dropping the ball like, or actively working against. Like there's dropping the ball, and then there's taking the ball and throwing it towards your opponent's goal. Do you know what I mean? Like, is he dropping the ball, or is he actively participating in something that is making the world a more comfortable place for pedophiles to live in?
Well, I can't definitively say he's doing it intentionally. The world's a pretty complicated place, and not doing something doesn't assume malice. It just assumes something like that's not what he's looking at. I don't know. I'm not trying to enable him. I'm saying he's screwing this up, and he should know that this is turning his base against him.
I think the simplest answer is he either is a pedophile or is protecting pedophiles because his friends are pedophiles, or both. I think it's actually like pretty definitive, pretty easy to infer from the recent action he took, where he commanded that there be an investigation, but specifically limited the parameters of that investigation into prominent Democrats, not anybody who's in there. I mean, I would have even if I was like, look, I think Clinton's in there, but I'm going to tell them, investigate anybody who's in those files. That he specifically made his command to the Department of Justice, which previous to his administration was an independent entity, commanded the Department of Justice to specifically look into ties between Epstein and Democrats. I think it's also telling that we're seeing redactions right now where they accidentally misredacting the victim's name, but they didn't misredacting the names of the people who actually victimized the woman. Or at that point, the girl. So I would say, like, I think if this was anybody else, Chuck, I think if this was Obama, I think this was Biden, I think if this was anyone else, I think you would definitively say, obviously, this is the way a pedophile or a protector of pedophiles behaves, and that's the number one explanation. And I think that the reason why you aren't is, even though you are libertarian, it looks like you said, that you are still a part of that cultish community, and you aren't willing to be honest with yourself and say, this man clearly makes the world better for pedophiles. What say you?
Well, it's not really fair. I mean, you're assuming that we were assuming my motivation. I've already outright said, hey, you're handling this wrong. So I obviously agree on the premise that transparency is a must, but you're assuming a level of malintent to me, whereas I'm just saying, hey,
I think I'm giving you an opportunity.
I don't know why.
I think I'm laying out why I think that is the case, and gave you the parameters of why based on our conversations thus far. And now I've turned the mic over for you to tell me what I'm missing and why it isn't the most reasonable inference to believe those things. So I think this is your opportunity to tell me what I'm missing.
He might be protecting pedophiles, but
okay,
we don't know why or who the pedophiles are. And not saying I would murder any pedophile. Sorry, I probably can't say that. My apologies. But depending on their influence and their reach, maybe you have to prepare to take them down.
Now, when it comes to this upcoming midterm election, we right now have a document of hundreds of thousands of pages that probably has the ability to expose a great many pedophiles who victimize thousands of little girls. So when you say the amount you hate pedophiles is that you would go out, you would murder a pedophile, would you do a lesser action? Like, for example, if the Republicans signal that they are going to continue congressionally to support the amount of redactions, to support the amount of concealment and cover up that the administration is currently participating in, would you say that you're willing to murder a pedophile? Are you willing to vote Republicans out of office and vote for Democrats if their promise is that they will get the files more unredacted and expose who the actual pedophiles are so justice can be done?
No.
Then I don't believe you. Then I actually, not only do I not believe what you said about that you would murder a pedophile, I think you are participating in making the world a better place for pedophiles.
Well, you would be wrong. This isn't the most important issue to me, the Epstein files.
Should be up there, though.
I live in a town in Ohio where I have seen many people die of heroin, fentanyl overdoses.
And would you murder a pharmaceutical CEO who's making more money because more people got addicted to drugs, which led to their fentanyl overdoses?
I would. The dealer that cuts it into the drugs that they're actually buying.
No. We know that systemically that these drug addictions are starting because pharmaceutical companies push these drugs and make money off doctors over prescribing them. That's definitive. Republicans, Donald Trump agrees with that. Okay.
Isn't that Pfizer?
Yeah. There's a reason why opioid companies lost major lawsuits.
So you said you'd murder pedophiles. Right. I'm wondering if you'd murder murder the CEOs of companies that got people addicted to heroin. No, you wouldn't. Okay, so it's not more important to you than pedophiles. You just said there are more important things, but you would commit murder to fix the pedophile problem, but not to fix the heroin overdose problem. So this wouldn't be an example of more important.
That is a false equivalent.
Is it?
Yes. Here's why.
How?
Fentanyl has medical uses, and the people that abuse Oxycontin, Pfizer, they should be held accountable for that. I am specifically talking about the drug dealers that cut fentanyl into heroin or something else that ends up overdosing and killing people. Those are the ones in my life. They're not in my life directly. They exist in my neighborhoods. I have watched too many people die because of it. And yes.
I love that, like, we live in a country where weed is illegal because it's a gateway drug, but you would give a pass, you would give a bigger pass to the drug companies than you would to the people who then are poor because they live in a capitalist society and are opportunistically taking the window that the drug companies are creating by making people addicted. And, I think it's funny. I just wonder why it is that there is more animus toward the dealers doing it to survive, making money in their local communities, which I still think is wrong, than you have toward the people who are getting your friends and family addicted because it made them rich. Richer. Right, they're already filthy rich. If you tax them at 90%, they'd still be rich. They're already filthy rich, and they're the people getting your family addicted. But the person who turned to drug dealing because they were poor, that's the guy.
They're not the ones getting them killed.
Yes, they are.
The people that are producing.
Okay, so the CEOs are going out there. They're cutting in fentanyl into the drugs. That's a CEO.
No, the CEOs are creating programs that cause the overprescription of drugs that get people addicted with no good recourse to get off of their addiction. So it's not like they have rehab. It's not like they have drugs to help them get off. They are overprescribing them. And then the person is going into addictive cycles. It literally chemically changes your brain. When you become an addict. You're speaking to a former addict. It chemically changes your brain, and you don't even think of, by the time you're there, your judgment calls on stuff are totally fucked and skewed. There is no government program to capture you. You've been overprescribed this thing irresponsibly. Yes, that is absolutely the CEO's fault that people are dying of drug overdoses. Are you kidding?
They're doing nothing. If they were doing some kind of mitigation, I would give you some credence to your own argument, Chuck, but they're not doing anything to mitigate.
Okay, so we can agree that the CEOs should be held accountable. I've said that. I'm not giving them any credence. I'm saying they're equally responsible. But
well, Donald Trump has made their lives better.
Donald Trump's made Pfizer executives' lives better. We're talking about Oxycontin, which is arguably the
government settlements with the government settlements with these companies for those things have been absolute fucking jokes. He has basically relieved them from the fear of pursuing actually good settlements. He is refusing to go in a deeper level of regulating the companies. In his first term, he actually did some deregulations. And right now, the quote unquote deals he's supposedly making are for Medicaid, but actually to also increase their distribution otherwise. So even any prices that go down, distribution will go up and put us in a place that will once again incentivize them to produce more drugs and get more people on them, because quantity will become another more significant source of income. Yes, Donald Trump is absolutely making it worse.
If I understand your position, then it's okay that we have these large shipments of fentanyl going into America, being cut into recreational drugs, and
so far you are incorrect on what's okay.
Yeah, I know. I'm doing the same tactic that you're doing.
You absolutely are not. You absolutely are not. I've gotten you to concede to the things that I am saying you are saying, and you're sitting there and going, my point will only work if I change what you said.
Yeah, so Jimmy didn't straw man you. You are actively trying to straw man now, though.
Right. I was making just like a parody of a stance. Yes, CEOs are responsible. However, the deaths that I'm most concerned with are the people I've seen around me suffering because illegal drugs come into this area in this market. I live off of 75. I like the corridor of heroin epidemic. And those dealers who are cutting these drugs in, they're doing time in prison, but they're murdering people and getting away with it. And I take objection to that. And that has killed more people than, what was the original point that we started with? Oh, the pedophiles, right? Like, Trump, to his credit, has made progress with sex trafficking of illegals, children and whatnot. And that is underrepresented. Like, that fact is overlooked. And so,
Chuck, you're going to want to go ahead and let Ari speak now.
Yeah.
So
please.
I'm gonna say, I actually I chortled a little bit at that one, and here's why. So yes, you can make a claim that we see a reduction in claims of individuals that are being trafficked across the United States border.
I'm sorry. Could you reread that real quick? I missed that start of that sentence. My apologies.
Yes. You can make a claim that we are seeing fewer individuals making an additional claim of being sex trafficked across the border by cartels. You can make a claim that we're seeing fewer. That does not, in fact, mean that there are fewer people being trafficked across multiple country lines, not being sexually abused. Like there's zero proof that the sexual abuse has decreased for women or children out there that are trying to get to another country. Zero proof. We've just seen fewer people being able to claim or consider United States of America a safe place because we have evidence, and you can find the videos from like 3 different people that have posted it from 3 different angles of a woman that was trying to report a sexual assault to the United States police force of a United States citizen and then getting arrested before she could actually file her full claim of being raped. And also human trafficking has been defunded by the Trump administration. So that's also a fucking joke as well.
So stepping back real quick. First, we have the question of the woman getting arrested, reporting the rape. Okay, that's an example that's anecdotal. Okay, that exists.
No,
I'm sure.
it's not anecdotal anymore when you actually have proof and you can find it. Anecdotal would be like me telling you that my sister lives across the street, but there's actually no proof of that, right? It's just me saying that. Also, she doesn't, so.
Let's assume the worst. Every potential accusation there exists. How many people is that? You don't know because it doesn't come to light, right? Like we can go through the lack of evidence thing.
Chuck, I don't think you want to go through the lack of evidence thing. I don't think you want to resort to, we don't know how many people are now less safe reporting their sexual abuse because ICE will overreact to them, because we will add that to the list of sexual abuse victims that the Trump administration is currently feel unsafe because they are concealing they are preventing the ability to get justice for victims. As we already started and you already agreed, life is better for pedophiles under Donald Trump.
So I think you're doing this fun game where we're going from a macro issue where we're talking about Epstein files.
Sir, we've been following what issue you want to go to.
Okay. So
a representation of data is not a micro issue.
Let's go back to the previous example. She was talking about the person that was arrested or trying to report a rape charge. Okay, that's we can agree that is a bad issue. We can agree that without additional context, that looks bad, and the people that arrested her should be punished, and that crime should be pursued.
I think the main thing we need to agree is that it represents that clearly there is a tough blind spot in this. Let's just hamp down on immigration, and that we don't have a good thing to account for and prevent a victim from getting deported instead of taken care of when something happens to her.
Are these mutually exclusive concepts? Can you be a victim and be deported at the same time?
I think that you are a fucking garbage piece of shit if you think that that would be the appropriate reaction to the reason why the police became aware of a citizen here illegal or a person here illegally was because they reported their rape. If you advocate for going, okay, but that's when you go ahead and deport them, I can't imagine trying to defend that you're not a ginormous piece of shit at that point.
Okay, so then all you have to do is get raped to never have to worry about being deported?
No, that wasn't even a claim at all.
Yeah, no, yeah, Chuck, that's what I'm saying. That's definitely what I'm saying, Chuck. That's definitely what I'm saying. You're really good at this, Chuck. You nailed it. Hey, Chuck, by the way, how are most people sex trafficked into America? Did closing down the Mexican border actually dramatically reduce sex trafficking? By what way, when we find victims of sex trafficking, have they usually come into this country?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, legally, with people on planes, with passports.
Great.
Like sex trafficking does not happen by coyotes the way you think it is. So
what you're saying,
they come through legal entry points. We should have more secure
borders.
We should have what?
Right?
Literally, what I just described to you.
Coming in.
What I literally just described to you, all that you're suggesting is, so we should cut off what? All immigration from anywhere? Because this is everybody. This is coming from everywhere. They're coming through legal ways, through legal ports of entry. They aren't being trafficked in by coyotes. So you're going to what? End all immigration? By the way, if somebody's going to traffic somewhere, would you rather that if they just can't come to America, Is trafficking over, or does the sex trafficking victim just go somewhere else?
They should go somewhere else.
But I said it like a man, Ari, so he's more likely to listen. Yeah, they'll go somewhere else. So you can't actually say the Trump administration has reduced sex trafficking. You can say the Trump administration has prevented me from being aware of sex trafficking, which, by the way, I'm only aware of from them saying that they've reduced it. This wasn't an issue I was actually keeping track of, and I'm exposing my own hypocrisy here, as I have already described in so many ways that I would continue to support our president and our Congress, even as they are giving comfort to goddamn pedophiles, and I would not vote in a new Congress who would make J.D. Vance the president by impeaching Donald Trump, hopefully, or at the very least getting the unredacted files released. I wouldn't participate in that, but I care about pedophiles so much I would murder them, but I wouldn't murder any of these other people continuing to give more comfort to pedophiles. Or I'll say that I care more about the addicted people, though I would not go further than penalizing those fines. Oh, those fines. When you say you would hold the head of Pfizer, for example, responsible, what would you say that looks like? Is that a fine, or you're saying you'd put them in prison for life?
Not a fine. They're murdering. He's guilty in murdering people. He should go to jail.
Okay, well, then you don't want to vote Republican because they don't agree. The number one issue that you just said is your number one issue, the Republicans are not going to do. But potentially the Democrats, especially if you go further left, you start going down the Bernie ticket and Bernie endorsements, you start getting progressives in there, they'll put a person like a Pfizer, a CEO into prison for sure.
Yeah.
Good.
Like,
I agree.
Are you familiar with the name Juan Hernandez?
Maybe, but not directly. Maybe I'm horrible with names, but if I've heard the story, I might know.
The former president of Honduras.
The Honduras. Yes. So probably my next door neighbors are Honduras refugees. But was he? I don't. If you could provide any additional details to help me, I would appreciate it. But I do not know them at this time.
Yeah, so he had charges filed against him across a previous administration, and they fully prosecuted him to the extent of United States law under the previous administration under Biden, right? And then Donald Trump.
Is he the one he just pardoned?
Pardoned? Yeah.
Yeah. That was a decision I am strongly against. That was the wrong fucking decision. It was a bad move.
But would you say you still support Donald Trump?
He's got a C.
I said C. I mean, I don't agree with
that was
everything.
Your grade.
I agree with. Yeah, I agree with some things. If Donald Trump were to run again, I would not vote for him. However, if Vance ran, I would vote for him. Well, just assuming that the theoretical third term, and he was on the ballot for whatever, like just hypothetical. No, I wouldn't vote for him again. This was his first term or the same spot. No. I would not.
But you also won't vote to stop him doing the things that he's doing when the midterms come up. And he's only signaled that he's going to get worse. So he's been a failure. We could do better. We could at least obstruct some of the bad things he's doing. He's raising taxes in terrible ways, specifically in ways that small businesses can't afford, but large businesses can. You're a libertarian, but you apparently don't care about small business. Like, what's the thing he's doing well? Is it just that he's getting rid of people whose names sound like they're from the president from Honduras?
No, my big thing that I think he's doing well is putting Robert Kennedy where he is, and he's grooming the vice president. He's doing a lot of things bad.
Does Tylenol cause autism?
I personally do not know. I have not done the research.
Is mifepristone in the water?
He.
Yeah, is mifepristone getting in the water supply of the United States of America, and then therefore causing a decline in our birth rate?
I don't know, but the person that is in charge of that department that has access to experts that are well versed in this field, I unfortunately have to appeal to authority. and acknowledge
The
that.
experts that have quit, the experts that he's forced out, and he's just placed in his own conspiracy theorists where he pulled a singular study that still doesn't even prove his own claim that Tylenol or acetaminophen causes autism, while ignoring 50 other studies that have shown that there is zero correlation causation, especially the one from Switzerland.
Chuck, please save my number, because at some point in
curiosity's
life,
sake.
you're going to need surgery, and I'm going to have to beg you not to go to the chiropractor for it.
Thank you. I will be sure to do that.
Thank you.
I don't know, kills how many people a year?
You tell us.
7, yeah, like 1,000. We'll call it 1,000. There's a lot of people. It's misused. We know if you misuse Tylenol, you'll die. You'll shut down your liver, I think. Is it kidneys? I always confuse the two. But
how many people a year does it save?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And I believe
I
what
just looked
Kennedy
it up, though.
said was,
It's not thousands. It's
you
300
should
to
only take-
500 a year.
is this globally, locally?
United States.
In the
This
U.S.,
is like
300 to 500
in
a
the
year
United States.
die
Okay.
in the U.S. from overdoses.
Well,
If you're saying we're
autism
going out to
doesn't
the
exist
world, that'll
only
be
in
crazy,
America.
since you thought sex trafficking was better because of what Donald Trump did. But if you want to go with the world, we can go with the world.
Yeah, and half of
Okay,
the
but
half of
it
the
still kills
500 are
tons of people.
unintentional.
Great. So it's a dangerous drug.
300 to 500 people dying annually because a ton of people use it and get relief from it. We're talking about 300 to 500
But she just
compared to the
half the
number of
deaths
individuals who
are
use it.
unintentional. Half the deaths are unintentional, right?
Unintentional
So it's a dangerous drug.
overdoses. Unintentional overdoses. It is a dangerous drug to overdose on. Correct. As I think you will find, water is a dangerous thing to overdose on as well.
Right.
Yeah, are you aware that you can overdose on water?
I'm sorry, you broke up there. I didn't hear you. Could you repeat that now?
Are you aware that you can overdose on water?
Yeah, it's water intoxication. Yes, I'm quite aware. But the point that I'm making here is,
You can overdose on vitamins.
I believe that Kennedy. Oh, absolutely. I think Kennedy said
Therefore, we should outlaw vitamins too.
Absolutely, and food, because it can lead to heart disease and all kinds of stuff. But seriously, though, we could play this. But the point that I'm making here is that he said you should take the minimal necessary dosage of that drug to achieve the results that you want. And if you misuse it or take more than necessary, I believe it could lead to autism. Well, regardless of the conclusion, it is still good advice. But you're using that as an example of how he's a little loony. Okay. You know,
I mean, what is the
one.
only safe thing for pregnant individuals to take when they're pregnant and they're experiencing a fever?
I have no idea. I would consult a doctor.
There's literally only one safe fever reducing drug out there, medicine out there for pregnant individuals to take. That's acetaminophen.
Okay.
And what did Donald Trump tell pregnant women? Because Donald Trump is trusted by his base, where if he speaks it, they accept it as fact. That's why some of them were willing to put bleach in their veins. Okay. So what did Donald Trump, under the advice of RFK, tell pregnant women from the presidential podium in no uncertain terms?
I don't know. Why don't you quote it?
Do not take it.
You have it in front of
Only
you.
bad things can happen.
Okay.
So you would rather see a world in which we have an RFK Jr., which is leading the president to tell pregnant women to keep their fevers and avoid harming their babies, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, having a feverish woman can harm a baby. You would rather
Time out. Are we talking about babies or fetuses?
That's very cute. It doesn't matter. I don't care. If a person is intending to deliver a child, I have no problem calling a fetus a baby if their intention is to give that child life. If you want to get very technical,
But
we can get very technical, but I don't. You obviously knew what I meant as
it's
a
funny
colloquialism.
when you're talking about abortion, it's fetuses.
When I
But
have
when
to
you're
get
talking
hyper,
about
when I have to get hyper specific because people will be ridiculously pedantic as you are being now, Chuck, I am much more careful with my language. But I have never had a problem with treating a fetus as a baby if that is the desire of the mother. In fact, to the point that I don't have a problem with the murder of a woman that is pregnant with a child they were intending to have, or even if you found out she didn't even know she was pregnant, I have no problem charging that person with a double homicide because we are
But
an
hold on,
advanced
I thought they were
civilization. No,
fetuses.
I'm not done because we're an advanced civilization and we can appreciate that nuance exists. And y'all pretend
Double
all the
standard.
nuance in the world exists when Donald
not.
Trump is protecting pedophiles, but that there can be zero nuance when we're talking about the policies and the laws that protect, for example, a person who might want an abortion.
All the nuance in the world for the Epstein files
Yeah.
ignores all of the nuance in the world for human trafficking, like Donald Trump cutting half the State Department that was actually responsible for investigating human trafficking claims of individuals as they were coming across the border or while they were in the United States of America, therefore reducing heavily the number of freaking charges that we place on individuals for human trafficking in the United States at almost an all-time low. Like, be so for a fucking real. You ignore nuance all the time.
So I actually called him about abortion. I don't really know how we
Yeah,
got
I
the
know.
Epstein
I don't really
files,
care to talk
but-
to you about that. Hey, can you tell me real quick, Chuck, where's the uvula? Where's a woman's uvula?
Oh, I don't know. Is it somewhere near her rectum?
Yeah, exactly. You don't know shit about an anatomy. I'm not talking to you about abortion.
Ah, yes. Let's attack the person.
I suspect that your own uvula has made its way near many rectums, Chuck.
And again, we're attacking the person. Are we having a conversation, or are we just gonna do insults?
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
You eliminated the possibility of a serious conversation when you tried to be excessively pedantic about me calling a fetus that we clearly in the example is meant to come to term by the woman. By trying to be pedantic about me using the term baby, eliminated the possibility we could be having a serious conversation because
But
you
let's
get,
step back
again,
to
you
that
get
subject.
all the nuance in the world that you need for
yeah.
your points, but you extend no nuance to anybody else.
And I'm sure the chat's noticed this too, that every time that you've spoke, Jimmy, he's heard you perfectly fine. But the couple times where I've wanted to ask him a question where he had to stop talking, it's always like, I'm sorry, you cut out. I didn't hear you. Can you repeat yourself?
There is a weird pattern there.
You know what's really funny
Yeah.
about that? Is
Uh-huh.
you
It's
literally
not
just
funny.
cut out again. I'm actually walking on a ridge
Oh, okay.
right now,
Uh-huh.
and so my cell phone reception isn't great.
But it's only
Sure.
when Ari
But yeah,
talks.
that is actually coincidence. So
My
Actually-
wiener is an antenna, I assume. Well, Chuck, I'd say it's been fun, but neither of us
I know.
believe
Go
that.
ahead and insult me, buddy. But why don't we talk about your child in your fetus position? Like,
No, I'm
If
good.
that's
I
why I
am-
called in.
Sure, I have my child in fetus position. If a child is wanted by the parents and they are clearly calling it a child or a baby, I have zero fucking problem with that. That's my position. I already gave it to you.
Okay. So, you know what? You have a blessed day. It's Merry Christmas.
A blessed day. No,
wish
we
you
only
both
say
well.
happy holidays. You're
Goodbye.
not allowed to say Merry Christmas. I just thought I'd let you actually hear somebody say that once, since it's obviously never actually fucking happened. But now you can be like, no, they said it to me. They said it to me. You know what, Chuck? Merry fucking Christmas. I'm glad we can all get together this time of year and remember the time of year that, well, a different God was born that wasn't Jesus Christ, but one day he would grow up to be able to jerk people off without closing his hands.
Oh, I guess this would be the winter
That's hilarious.
solstice.
Also,
So, yeah.
it's not yet.
Enjoy
You don't
that.
even.
That's
Oh, actually,
pagan,
it
right?
is. Also, Hail Satan, just for you.
Yeah. Chuck, happy Hanukkah.
Happy
Oh shit, I'm
Kwanzaa.
not Jewish
I'm not
anymore. I
Jewish, but
forgot.
thank you.
I forgot. I thought I was Jewish up until like a week ago, according to my 23andMe, but they just did an update and it turns out I'm Nordic. So happy solstice or whatever the Nords do, some nonsense. And then British, I'm very British, very Irish. So happy time of year that cousins fuck each other to get out of the warmth, because I'm pretty sure that's the history of being British. That's kind of just white history, though. Chuck, happy White History Month. Bye.
What?
That was great. Oh gosh. Someone said Happy Jesus Day. Nah, hell Satan.
Derek in California. Derek, you're on the line with Jimmy and Ari. How are you, Derek?
Hello?
Hello. How are you, Derek?
I'm doing all right, Jimmy. How about you?
Peachy.
That's good to hear. Hey, I was on the line throughout that entire last call. That things got pretty heated, not gonna lie.
You felt heat?
I was just calling.
I gotta tell you,
that was not heated.
I don't think you maybe you haven't watched a lot. That is not what heated looks like over here. But hey, Derek, how old are you?
Me, I'm 27.
And would you like the chat to refer to you as a he, she, or they, or for something else?
You can just refer to me as a he or a him.
Cool. Appreciate that. And you voted for Trump the last two or all? I don't think you could have voted three in the last three elections, but last two, did you vote for Trump in both?
Last one. Yeah, last election.
Sure. Against Biden. Let me ask you this, Derek. I want to see if we can start off on a place of complete truth, because I can answer this question for anybody you ask me to
Sure.
To do it. I don't know what words. I'm a little brain fogged. But Derek, here's my question. You voted for Donald Trump in 2020 and in 2024. Donald Trump made a lot of large promises. Will you share with us one of the large promises that you acknowledge he did not deliver on, and you are disappointed in him for not delivering on it?
All right. So first of all, I was only able to vote for Trump back in 2024. I didn't vote for him back in 2020, but the biggest promise that he hasn't delivered on yet. I mean, if I wanted to be a smart aleck, I could say the wall, but I mean, other from that, he's been doing a pretty good job. I mean, gas prices here are lower than ever, even in California. Like,
so the answer to your question is no. You don't really have an answer to that question. You believe that everything Donald Trump promised he has delivered, basically, or that he's trying still.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as with every great president. I mean, you know,
every great president. Yeah,
I do have to.
You can't name one. You can't even think of one from this week, for example, right?
Well, here, I've got a point. Just hold on a second. You know, he was out of office for one term, and, you know, he came back and he continued on finishing up his promises and just doing the things he said he was going to do. Didn't he build that Hall of Heroes near the White House?
Sure. This doesn't affect. People are literally dying as a result of his failed promises. So let's go with the big ones. Can you think of a single promise he made just that he definitively failed at, that you and I can agree he failed to deliver that promise?
Definitively failed at?
Sure.
I'd probably, I know this is a touchy subject, no pun intended, but probably the Epstein list. Like, you know, I watched like a whole 3-hour video of like the different photos found in the Epstein files, and
great. We'll get to Epstein. What was his promise regarding the Russia and Ukraine war? What promise did he make?
Oh, he said he was going to end the war.
How quickly?
Get us out of what's that?
How quickly did he promise to end the war by?
I don't know, man, but I remember when he made that promise.
I can tell you then. Within 24 hours of being elected, not even becoming president was his promise. Within 24 hours of his election, he was going to get Trump or Putin and Zelensky on the phone and would end that war, will you admit that he has failed at that promise, and not only failed at that promise, but appears to have failed as a diplomat since then toward the end of achieving that peace, and that in fact, the closer it seems like we keep getting, we then fall short of it, and it seems that in the end, Russia is only going to make a deal if Russia gets everything they were wanting in the first place. Is that correct or incorrect?
Well, let's hold on for just a second. Did he wind up actually getting Putin and Zelensky on the phone? I thought he did.
No, not
No,
together.
in fact, he failed to do that. And
maintaining a
Not
promise
together.
if you want to get credit
no,
about
excuse me, Derek. If I promise to bring you to my house and give you $1 million, and I bring you to my house and give you no money, I have not fulfilled my promise because the first part I did. But the answer to your question is no, he didn't do part one anyway. But even if he did, which he didn't, but even if he had, his promise was he would end the war within 24 hours. His promise wasn't, I'll get him on the phone. His promise is, I'll end the war. Right? So no, it isn't technically a promise kept, as you just said. It's in fact a promise failed. And since then, we have actually gotten further from any sort of peace deal than we were before. And Putin has in fact dug his heels in the sand. And unfortunately, because we've sort of interacted less and supported them less, has now had time to rebuild up arsenals, recruit more people from North Korea. In fact, Donald Trump becoming president has put Putin in a stronger position, not a weaker one. Now, here's another one. In what year did Donald Trump promise to release a definitive plan, not just say we're going to, but a replacement plan for Obamacare? What year did he first say this will be coming out? In fact, his words were in a couple of weeks, we're going to be releasing a plan. Everyone's going to love it. Everyone's going to be happy. What year did he first start making that claim?
Can I get a vowel? Listen,
sure.
I don't have an encyclopedia level of knowledge.
Excuse me.
Okay,
great. You can just ask me to tell you. I don't think it's an own to tell you that the year was 2015. How many years ago was that?
2015.
Now, how many years do you think it took him? If he started saying 2 weeks from now, you're going to see that. How many years do you think it ended up taking him to finally release his proposed replacement to Obamacare?
Okay, let me ask you something, Jimmy.
No.
You've got
in
all
a minute, Derek. I'm taking on your claim that Donald Trump is a man who delivers on his promises. Right now, we are at the end of the year, and a bunch of Americans' premiums are about to skyrocket, and Donald Trump says that is the Democrats' fault. So I am taking on for you a specific promise that Donald Trump has been making, as you've now acknowledged, or you don't have to accept it true, but has been happening for 10 years. 10 years ago, he said the replacement plan is 2 weeks away. So now you're going to answer my question. Just guess, how long do you think it has taken him? Did it take him from that 10-year ago mark to finally release what the plan was? It wasn't 2 weeks. What do you think the time frame actually was to release the replacement plan?
Over 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, listen, all I wanted to call in and say is, like, we're all only human, right? Trump is
Derek, could you just answer the question? Derek, could you just answer the question? Because it's actually, right now, the point you're trying to make will actually make the answer worse.
How well do you really know your president, Jimmy? How well do you know him other than these dates and facts?
Super well. Okay, so it wasn't 2 weeks. Sure? He said 10 years ago.
If you knew him better, you would have known you had been talking to him the entire time.
Great, Derek. Great, Derek.
Jimmy?
That's cute.
Are you getting on steam tonight?
Derek,
my name
10
is
years.
This is Donald Trump.
Derek,
I give you a 2 out of a 10. Your impression is
your
horrible.
impression is actually garbage. So let's get back to the substance, because it seems like anybody watching.
Over the phone,
all right, so I'm going to go ahead and mute you for a moment to explain this to you. Right now, anybody watching can see you've lost and you're trying to flounder for something to save face. All I want you to do is just answer the question. What would you guess? Let me try and help you, okay? He didn't have it by 2017, and that was why when he tried to repeal Obamacare in 2017, it failed. Because John McCain basically said, I'm voting against the repeal because you haven't given us a replace yet. So in 2017, it failed. And he went, shit. Okay, I know I've been saying it for 2 years. Here's 2 weeks. How long do you think it took beyond that, 2017, for him to deliver his replacement plan for Obamacare? Because that was the reason why his repeal failed in the first place. From that moment, what do you think? Another year, another 6 months? How long do you think Donald Trump, the good promise keeper, who started promising a replacement 10 years ago, how long do you think it took him to finally deliver the replacement plan?
Well, I can't give an exact number, but I knew it was very fast, a lot faster than the last plan.
Great. So thank you, Derek, who's now trying to save face by doing a character. I'm going to mute again. The answer to your question, Derek, who said that Donald Trump is a great promise keeper, is Donald Trump has still not released a replacement plan. He has soft endorsed some congressional plans, but at no part as the platform of his presidential run, which is where you would expect it. In 2015, you would expect, here is the policy I would put in place. And again in 2020, where he promised again it would come out. And in 2024, where he promised again it would come out, never released it and has yet to release it. In fact, he famously on a debate stage said, when they asked, do you actually have a plan now in 2024, said, I have concepts of plans. Not a plan, but I have a concept of a plan. So right now, because your favorite president, Derek, who is failing to deliver the health care that he has been promising for 10 years, we are about 10 days out from American premiums skyrocketing. Mine, I already have my quote, only went up 20% because I don't buy off of the marketplace. I buy directly from the insurance company, and I already pay something like 10 times as much as a regular person on the marketplace pays. So mine, because it's already prohibitively expensive, actually is only going up 20%. Many people's premiums are as much as doubling, and those who are losing their subsidies will experience more than a doubling because their subsidies were covering more than double the cost.
And a lot of them were paying $0, and now they're actually having to pay money out.
Right. So this is Derek. Derek is called in and is floundering now. He's going to keep doing a silly voice because he knows he can't win this. Says that Donald Trump is a great president keeper. Says pedophiles matter so much to him if he could, he'd murder them. They don't matter as much as the drug people matter to him because he wouldn't murder them, but he's real upset about them, but he's going to keep voting for the people who are not holding them accountable. But says the reason why he likes Donald Trump is because Donald Trump keeps his promises. He mentioned, okay, he did fail on the wall. He didn't just promise the wall. He promised Mexico would pay for the wall. And the thing that they've even erected so far does not resemble in any way the wall he promised, this thing that was going to compete with like the Great Wall of China. It's a bunch of rods sticking out of the ground. So that was the actual promise. Also, notably, in his first term, he promised a quick war to a quick end to the war in Afghanistan. He didn't deliver that either. In fact, he pushed the date for it down to when maybe it would have been his second term, but for whoever the next guy was to handle, and then did no preparation for it. So when the Biden administration came over, they literally had months to put together a plan for pulling out, because the date was now signed into law by him and they were not able to go back on that. So they are the reason why it ended quickly. And any problems that happened with that quick withdrawal was because the last guy put a deadline that was not thought out or not planned for. He promised to end the Russia-Ukraine war. We all saw how that went. He promised to eliminate the national debt. Federal debt has risen significantly in both of his terms. He is exploding the deficit. The government is larger than it has ever been. The idea of a person calling in as a conservative or a Republican acting like they like small government, truly, truly a joke in the case of Derek. Derek loves large government, especially that which inhibits you from living your personal life the way you want to live. He promised also new middle-class tax cuts. Nope. He has just extended the billionaire tax cuts. The tax cuts any middle-class people got are minor in comparison to the absolute welfare handout that the rich people, who again, if you taxed them at 90% would still be fucking rich.
Yep.
Those people have gotten their tax cuts extended. He also promised to deport 15 to 20 million people. That hasn't happened. That's one of the promises I'm glad that he has failed at. And even with his new term, promised we would get the wall completed. That hasn't been happening either. And he said it would happen immediately.
Nah, we just paint our side of the wall black.
Right. So
to keep our people in.
Derek, would you actually like to engage what a failure of a proposition you called in with, or are you going to continue to be a cartoon character and do the impression of, I guess, the world's most famous pedophile protector?
Well, I couldn't say I'm the most famous pedophile protector. The most famous.
Okay, so you failed, Derek. You failed. Good job. Oh, Robert in Arkansas. Sorry, no, Alaska. Robert in Alaska.
Arkansas.
It is Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought too for a second. I was like, wait, isn't that AK?
Yeah, I think, and so this needs to be changed to Robert from AR if my lovely producer, who is super hot, would handle that. Robert from Arkansas, go ahead. What do you got for us?
See, I got thinking, if the grocery tax is supposed to come down by, how come he has not ordered, find a deal, bring the grocery tax down, just like healthcare? I think people are starving because of the prices are so high. You go to Walmart, anywhere in your state, and take a look at your taxes, you got 40-cent tax on $35 tax. And when you got that food tax up, well, the tariffs is making our food go up. And it's hurting the farmers. I wish he just probably even drop the prices, make the health care come down, even with the rich people and the poor, just straight across the table. And I believe in that.
Okay, Robert, I'm going to try to repeat you what I think you've just said. You believe that they should eliminate the sales tax on groceries, the federal sales tax on groceries.
Tax down. Bring it down. Bring that cost of health care down.
And you think that
on the table.
Right. And you think that the sales tax is caused by, is 40%? Is that correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm. And they keep on raising that sales tax up where you cannot buy a new car.
Okay, so Robert, right now, if we're talking about groceries, let's talk about groceries. There is no federal sales tax. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know that.
Okay.
Where you getting all your sales taxes is through the county. Each state got a tax deal on the county.
So the president can't reduce your sales tax, but Arkansas has a statewide sales tax of 6.5%. The highest sales tax anywhere in Arkansas is 11.5%. Where are you getting 40%?
Where I'm getting the 40% is with the steak and the beef, where you go in and pay for the farmers.
Right, there's no 40% tax on steak and beef.
It sure is.
But there isn't.
Companies are forcing it. Yes.
No, that wouldn't be a tax. That would be an upcharge.
Are you describing when the customers buy it, or are you describing when the companies buy it from out overseas and that there are tariffs?
Oh, no, I'm not overseas. Our local farmers.
Okay, I don't know what to tell you besides that you are incorrect. There is not a 40% tax on beef and steak. But you're calling in as a Trump supporter and you want healthcare to become affordable. Why would you vote for Trump if you want affordable healthcare, who has deregulated the health insurance companies and is now taking away the subsidies? So a bunch of people who had $0 premiums or low premiums are about to go up to hundreds of dollars. Why would you vote for Trump, who is actively making healthcare more expensive?
State Arkansas took my burial policy away from me.
Took your
the
what away from
income
you?
includes my burial insurance.
Okay.
Took the burial insurance away from me because I live in tax for burial insurance. Okay, I had to cancel that burial insurance. What I am coming up with, the farmers of the United States is getting that. They ain't getting no 40 cents. They're getting a dime out of a dollar on their crops.
When
I'm
you're
a
saying
farmer
40,
myself.
are you saying 40% or you are saying 40
Yes.
cents? Like it's 40 pennies.
Yes, 40 penny cent. The farmer
Okay.
gets.
40 per
Okay, they don't get a
40
dollar.
40
They don't
pennies
get a
per
dollar.
what? Is that for every dollar?
Every dollar I'm talking about. The farmer's
Okay.
not getting it.
So
Because you
if a
got the
farmer
tariffs.
makes $1 off of let's just say, I mean, this would be a rancher, but
That's right.
a farmer gets $1 for a cow. You're saying
Right.
the farmer has to pay 40 cents for that
Right.
cow to the government.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And the government is not being right to the farmer.
And the government is what?
Because the middleman not getting fair with the farmers. They want bar.
So why are you
stuff
continuing
and
to vote for Arkansas is a Republican state. So the state laws are red, and Donald Trump is a Republican president. And it says here
Right.
that you
What
wanted to
I'm
call
trying
in and
to
say
do is
Democrats are why the groceries are high, but you're living in a red
That's
state under a
right.
red
Take a look
president.
at-
What?
Okay, take a look at that. You take a look at it. The Democrats, one walked off the job. Every one of
walked
them
off the
Democrats
job.
have been fired. And then reopen the government.
Robert, have
Trump
you had
fired
anything to
them.
drink today?
No, I have not drank anything. No, I'm not.
I
I
don't-
can't
then
drink because
I-
I'm allergic to it.
Are
I'm very allergic to alcohol.
how old are you, Robert?
I'm being honest. I'm 46. No, 65 years old. And they took the
46, no,
barrel
65. Okay. You're 65 years old. You
Yeah,
voted for
they took
Trump
the
all
barrel
3
policy.
times?
Yes, I have to get the war stopped,
Okay.
get us on, and then get rid of the tariffs.
Robert,
get
are you
rid of the
are you a
fraud out-
Caucasian brother of mine? Are we both white?
Oh, I'm part Indian.
How much?
I'm Osage. And they
Huh?
don't talk about the Osage side.
No,
That's
what
right,
percentage?
I'm Osage.
What percentage indigenous are you?
60 and a half. And I don't get a roll number.
Have you ever gotten your 23andMe done? Because I think you might have an Elizabeth Warren style surprise in store.
Nope, I don't have nothing like that. And
I grew
yet
up
seen
also
by like
believing
that.
I was 16% Native American, and turns out it's a common white people fantasy. Anyway, Robert, I'm afraid I don't know what to do here because either the form of English that you are speaking is a form of English that I am failing to understand. Because you are saying things that either are definitively wrong or I'm not understanding the words you're saying. And your thick white Arkansas accent is, I don't mean to sound bigoted toward white people, but it is rough.
It's really hard to understand you, friend.
Do you have a MAGA son you could have call in that have all the same opinions of you, but maybe has just like a soft Nebraska accent?
See, what I'm talking about is when you take the grocery tax and make it even with your health care, you make everything else even. Go is to get rid of this tariffs and make it.
Donald Trump is the one that said tariffs are his favorite word. He's not going to get rid of tariffs.
Right.
He literally said that the other night.
Well, he needs to, because you take a look at Nebraska.
He won't.
My heart honestly breaks for you, Robert, because I think that you are a man who has simple joys in life, and life's like, to you, it's straightforward. I think you're not a bull. I think you're an, I don't think you're a, yeah, I think you like life to be straightforward. You're told what, like, this is how you do this. You get up, you go to work, you get your paycheck, you go. And I think I think that's the life you're content to live. And I don't think I think that it is unfortunate that you have been intercepted by the Republicans because you don't know, and I don't know that I have the time to get you to understand it, that
I
they
understand real
hate
well.
you. The Republicans
No, I don't hate
hate
nobody.
you. They want. No, I don't think you hate anybody. You don't realize the Republicans hate you. They only want your vote. They will never take care of you. You will never get health care from them. You will never get cheap groceries from them. They are going to take your loyalty until it kills you.
Okay, no, it ain't going to kill me.
No, they're going to kill you.
No.
Robert, 1 in 3 men get prostate cancer.
Okay,
if you're one of those 3 men, the Republicans are going to make sure you die of it.
No, I want to pick this one. The Democrats one walked off the job. Okay? They walked off the job.
Good.
And they shut the government. Okay, listen. They had to take emergency deals to open the government back up.
Wait,
okay,
are you talking about are you talking about the COVID shutdowns?
No. He's talking about the most recent government shutdown that ended in November.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, Robert, hang on, Robert. The Democrats would not vote to open the government because Republicans would not commit. Hang on, because the Republicans would not commit to extending the healthcare subsidies. In the end, the Democrats gave up and essentially said, fine, we've settled for, we'll get a vote on the subsidies. Those subsidies just happened last week. Republicans voted them down. So your healthcare costs are going up because the Democrats failed with what they were doing with the government shutdown, and the Republicans voted them down. This is the Republicans fucking you from both sides, and you're continuing to vote for them and tell them thank you.
At the table. No, take both sides. And get at the table and go work.
They are
and
at work.
Come down, figure out something to bring it down.
They're not going.
Congress and the Democrats. Sit down at the table.
I just feel bad for Robert.
I do too, because it's funny, his choice of phrasing where he's like, the Democrats walked off the job, except the Democratic members of Congress were the only ones that were still showing up to work every day.
Right.
But Mike Johnson is the one that sent the entire House home.
Right. Literally, they were the ones there and ready to make a deal. And the Republicans basically went, we don't have to make a deal with you, which the Republicans are going to learn was a mistake when the Democrats get power again. Because the Democrats are going to go, why would we make a deal? You wouldn't deal with us, so why would we make a deal with you?
I'll make it easy on you. I'll make it real easy.
I don't think you...
I'm going to come out. Okay, I'm listening. Think this way. If the Democrats and the Republicans could sit down with Trump and the Speaker, try to figure out a house deal, and bring the groceries down, and just make it even on the table.
So do you believe in price controls?
Yes, right.
That's socialism.
Price control is what is out of bounds.
Congrats, Robert. You're a socialist.
No, I'm not socialist.
Sir, you are.
Look at it.
Yeah.
Do you believe in labor protection?
No,
do you believe that farmers... Hang on. Do you believe that farmers and laborers, making it even, making things equitable, making sure farmers and labor are taken care of?
Everything across the table.
Robert, if you believe that farmers should be given health care, should have equitable wages, should be paid what they're worth, and that grocery prices should come down, you, sir, are a socialist. Right. That's literally the socialist platform.
I'm talking about everybody. They're across Congress, the Democrats and the Republicans
should implement socialism.
With the farmer. No, sit down even. Sit down at the table in front of the president and try to work this thing out. That is not communist. That is not
socialist.
Communism.
It's socialist.
No.
It's socialist, sir. Yes.
No, then they'll sit down and figure it out at the
Robert, I am a socialist, and I am telling you I agree with you because I am a socialist. I agree with universal health care, with equitable wages, with making sure laborers get an equal share, that it's, as you said, across the board. I literally am a socialist
right.
because I believe in all the things you just said. And the reason why I'm no longer a Republican is because they don't believe in those things. They believe that the billionaires should control how much money the laborers get. They believe billionaires should profit from healthcare and should decide how much healthcare you get, no matter how much money you're giving them. They believe that billionaires get everything and run the government and that you don't. This is why I say Republicans, I'm sad for you, Robert. Republicans hate you.
You know what I'm talking about. The people is the government, not the government over the people.
Yep.
Yep, that's socialism.
Okay. Okay.
Robert, I gotta use
here's
the
a good
bathroom.
question.
I'm gonna leave the two of you for a minute because I gotta pee.
Okay.
Okay.
Robert, I don't think so. You have this boogeyman in your head of what you believe socialism is because you've been taught what it is incorrectly. Socialism and communism are both socioeconomic concepts, right? Like, because it's about the economy and it's about how people work within that government or that social structure. Socialism
You know what I used to work for? You know how much I used to work for? $2.50 for minimum wage. Minimum wage was $3.35. I was getting $2 out of my work at the company I worked for. No raises, no nothing. And I done that for 5 years.
That
on
sucks.
top of that, I never did get a raise. Everybody else got raises. I didn't. I was still
That
at
sucks.
$2.15. Yeah, tell me about it. And finally, I had to get somebody to come in there and to take a look at my paycheck. Finally, I had to get the IRS to look into it. They said, that's fine. It's okay. It's okay. The IRS didn't want to do anything. That's the truth. The labor boards wouldn't do anything.
Oh,
Because
I'm sorry that happened to you.
I know. And that right
Can
now,
you-
you take a look at the economy. Some companies still underpay low-income workers across the board.
Mhm. That's what's allowed within
And where-
capitalism, unfortunately.
In capitalism, getting free labor.
No, we're
top
in a
of the-
capitalistic market. Would you agree or disagree that the United States is primarily a capitalistic market?
They are capitalism, and then they turn around and change their ways. Because I'm going to tell you something, we go bankrupt like they did in the 60s and the 30s. When these banks start closing down, I feel sorry people, millionaires went bankrupt at that time. Didn't have one dime in their pocket. And what they done, they got together and got their money back, and they shut the banks down from the local people back in the 30s.
Hey, what is socialism?
Socialism to me is communism.
Okay, what do you think communism is?
Communism is them hogging the money for themselves.
No, that's incorrect.
Yes, it
the
is.
the most
No,
no.
it's
See,
not incorrect.
I encourage you to
They'll-
actually go to like Google, Grok, Ask Jeeves, DuckDuckGo, whatever you need to go
I
to
don't have Google on my phone. I don't have Google. I don't have anything on my phone.
Okay,
I'm
maybe you
trying to
need to
say-
put into your
I'm trying to
YouTube
make it-
search bar because
Then
you
when they
obviously
went
have
from-
YouTube. You need to put into your YouTube search bar what is communism and
I
then
did
watch
that.
a couple videos. I don't think so
I
because
done that. I
communism,
done everything. I don't get it.
communism, which
don't
is,
get
I'm
none.
going to give you the simplest explanation of what communism is. Okay. It is a stateless, meaning no government, classless, meaning no class system. So there's no middle, lower, middle, like upper class, none of that. Moneyless, so no currency society. That is not what socialism is.
What I am explaining to you, make it a little easier. You take the millions of dollars lost across the United States. They're so far in debt, they'll raise debt ceiling up. They'll stuck it back in the $1 million in debt. Then I'll pay off the first loans. If I went out there and borrowed money from a bank, I have to pay that interest off. They're not thinking up their little brain how much this costs and that costs.
Uh-huh.
The Republicans the same way. They don't care. Take a look at their bank account. The government don't look at their bank account.
You're right.
Because
It's
they keep
the
raising
bank
taxes
account's
up,
problem.
taxes up, and they don't look at a shutdown even score on the break-in side. And so you got a bank account and you went and borrowed $3,500. You're gonna be paying $750 for that interest cost.
That math ain't mathing.
For next time. No, that is mathing.
Yeah, Robert, I don't know what to do here. There's not a value to continuing the conversation. I think there's fundamentally something that you don't get here, and I don't know how to not seem condescending at the level at which I feel we would have to explain it. So
okay, when I mow lawns, I charge lesson under $40.
No, Robert.
I mean, I would hope you're in charge when you're mowing lawns. We don't want you to lose a foot.
Yeah, Robert, we're gonna let you go there. Thank you for your call.
And you have a Merry Christmas then.
Merry Christmas.
You get the government to do what they want to get and get them even on the table.
Merry
Both parties ought to be even on the table. You're welcome.
Merry Christmas and Feliz Navidad.
Yes. All right, people, here's the game we're going to play. Andrew from New Jersey's trying to get on. Robert, don't call back. I don't.
Why did he go back?
What are you doing? Andrew from New Jersey is on. I will take his call as soon as I run out of super chats to read. So if you want us to, or if another caller calls in, a different MAGA caller comes in, we'll do it. But as soon as I run out of super chats to read, I'm taking Andrew from New Jersey unless the hour is up, because we only have 14 minutes left in the hour anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Joe White said Jimmy Snow is bad at his job and an amazing singer. Katie says, when they ask what is a woman, ask them what is a job.
That was a good one.
Cyrus says, I think they're all scared to call him because they see those Arabic numerals on their phone screen keypad and they're scared to death of touching them. Joshua says, Jimmy, we need to know if Ari is officially a line host now so we can plan the welcome party. Yes, Ari is officially a line host now. Woo!
Hey, yo. Let me know how that planning goes, guys. And also keep me informed.
Yeah, I don't know what they even mean by that. I never got a party.
You invented it. Why would you get a party? You should have made your own party. Wait, what?
Yeah, that's true. I could have. Let's celebrate me for once. Luthien, if you want to screen that call, we'll see if there's time for it. Agent Jonic says, my Unitarian Universalist Church did a 15 Sunday comprehensive sex education class, super informative, pro-LGBTQ, and in the mid-2000s in Oklahoma. Yeah, the Unitarian Universalists are pretty good. Sapphic says, Tony doesn't care about the people Trump sexually assaulted. No, he cares very much. Well, he'd kill a pedophile. Was that Tony?
That was, I think.
A different Tony wrote, how much would it take to make Tony from California change his name? Kieran says, when are these people going to realize that prohibition has never worked ever and just leads to unsafe outcomes for people seeking the service anyway? They would sit there and basically say, like, that doesn't mean that you wouldn't make murder legal just because you'll never end all murders. Unfortunately, that's one of those arguments where you and I understand that it isn't wrong, and it is in fact wrong to deny people that service, and that it's pivotal. But that's only going to be something that appeals to us. That's not an argument that actually appeals to them at all. And I guess that's what you're asking. You're saying, when will they get it? But that thought doesn't compel them remotely. Abs Trusa Glitch says, what is this fixation on Ari? It's weird as fuck. Please drop this fool. Yeah, the fucking could hear you perfectly when he was hitting on you, but not otherwise. Was that guy the 65-year-old too? No, that was the last dude who said 46. I mean 65.
Yeah, that was weird.
David says, Jimmy, David. Katie says, I had the realization today that there are too many people who don't understand a problem can have more than one facet to it. This call reinforces it. All right, we have a different call, and we'll check this out. We have David from Arkansas. I don't know. Is this going to just be Robert from Arkansas with a different voice? David from Arkansas, you're on the line with Jimmy and Ari. What's up? That wasn't impressive. So like, we already know MAGA is racist. So like, why would that have impressed anybody? Like, hey guys, when the call is MAGA, you can call in and tell us what's up. They're like, what if I just call in and scream the N-word a bunch? Like, that's cool. By the way, I have that call recorded and I have your phone number. I'm just going to track down your mom and send it to her.
Yeah, I'm sure that's one of my fans.
Could be. But soon, his mom is going to have the audio clip of him spamming the N-word. By the way, you were so bad at it, it wasn't even clear at first what you were saying.
Was it? It's like you were trying to eat your microphone and it was unsuccessful.
It sounded like burger at first. Burger.
I thought it was feedback.
Yeah, it did kind of sound like feedback too. It was like feedback, then burger. And then I don't even know that it ever was clear. It became clear what they were trying to do. I wouldn't say the word ever became clear. Anyway, what did he sound like in his screening? Luthien.
He just sounded like a dude.
Just some guy.
Yeah.
Should we play it? Should we play its audio?
I don't want to hear my own voice.
It's the hottest voice in the whole fucking world, though. None of you are allowed to say that. That would be sexual harassment at work. God damn that voice at the end. Gets my nips hard. I could play it, I think, but I don't know if y'all would hear it. This is main board over here, right? I think if I do, wait, if I turn this one on, here, say something.
Bubbles.
Is it repeating back to you? No,
Nope.
Right? Okay, so now let me see if I hit this and I open up a different video and I play the audio. Well, I don't hear it at all now.
Could you any flips?
Okay, that video was coming through, right?
Yep, I heard that.
All right, let me see. Let's listen to and roast. Let's roast the fuck out of David. Let's see, recordings. Which one would, screeners right here. Okay, would have been this.
It's pretty bad when people are using this to defend Andrew.
Can you hear me okay?
Pretty quiet.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you hear me okay? Hello? Hi, this is the call screener. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Great. Can I get your first name?
David.
Okay. Would you like to provide any pronouns?
He, him.
And what state are you calling from?
We probably should have known. At this point, voluntarily giving up pronouns means they're just trying to get on air.
And are you calling in as a MAGA or a conservative or something else?
I'm conservative.
What is he listening to in the background there?
Okay. What's the topic you want to talk about?
I'd like to talk about immigration policies.
Bro, why did your voice sound that way?
Stance on immigration?
I believe if you come in illegally, you should be deported.
Why do you sound like you have Kermit's dick in your throat?
Probably because he's underage.
Oh.
If they do not get the proper documentation, yes.
Okay. I'll go ahead and add you.
That's interesting. I guess he believed Elon Musk needs to be deported. Why do you sound like that, dude? Your voice fucking sucks. He just really wants to get on air. Really
He's
wants
eating
to.
his microphone.
What was he listening to in the background? Probably some Nick Fuentes. Probably a groiper. All right, well, back to super chats. And remember, if I run out of these before the show's over, Andrew will get on the air. So don't let us run out. Especially as a hello, a welcome to Ari, flood with super chats because she does get a piece.
Whoop, whoop.
Kate said, that puppy wants a piece too. Katie says, I had the realization today that there are too many people who don't understand a problem can have more than one facet to it. This call reinforces it. Yeah, I just absolutely love the guy who called in clearly just like, oh, no. There's a lot of nuance to the pedophilia. There's a lot of nuance. But to abortion, there's no nuance. The pedophilia, nuance city. But the abortion, no nuance. None. Oh, someone's trying to call in anonymously. Like we don't know what that's gonna be. Sorry, we don't take anonymous calls. David, who's trying to call back again and probably spam the N-word a bunch. We're going to tell your mom. I've got your phone number. I'm gonna tell your mom. Your mom's gonna find out. Ooh, yeah. Kayla says, as a sexual assault victim, I feel more unsafe with Trump as president. Who wouldn't? I feel like, yeah. All women, all people who, honestly, anyone, if you are in a category of person that a man may want to sexually dominate to feel more powerful, which is not exclusive to only women, you should feel much less safe right now. I mean, that is, I would say, pretty clearly the case. Oh, I lost my place. Never Had a Bidet says Chuck is a PDF protector and apologist, period, just like the rest of MAGA trash cult. Yep. MAGA stands for make all pedophiles groovy at once. They forgot to put some letters in there. You know, that's their fault. You know what? MAPGA, especially with the way pedophiles were trying to make the phrase map work a couple of years ago, would be pretty funny.
Oh, God.
Yeah. MAPGA. That'll work.
Make them great again. No.
You guys really put the P in MAGA. The Rod, I don't know why it's not showing me your full names here. The Rod Way something said Satan. Yeah. It's
I
your
went
boy,
hail Satan.
Satan. Yeah. My friend Meg says, I would do almost anything if it meant I could know our current president less, Derek. Dude, the way it is so unfortunate that man probably holds the title as most famous human being in the world. Like, fame isn't necessarily, it isn't definitively a positive, but the fact that it must thrill him that is the case. Oh, man.
He just likes seeing himself back on recordings. I'm convinced of that at this point.
Yeah. I try to take him and put him other places where the spirit of Trump. I liked pretending Jake Paul was Donald Trump the other night. I only have seen the 4 seconds, but what a glorious 4 seconds that was. My God. Hate speakers, Argon. Again, I got the name cut off. Says, Mom, the hen pecking HR lady is back.
Oh, that's also a fan. If you actually look at his profile picture, it's an AI generated picture of him, a shirtless guy with Donald Trump kissing the cheek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mock him for that every single live.
But is he a fan or a fan? You know what I mean?
He's a hate fan that pays me, so he's pretty fan level. Thanks, man.
I know what his OnlyFans subscriptions look like. I know what those people are into. Don't bother emailing me. I'm not going to let you sit in the cuck chair. Misha says, Jimmy, that was mean leaving Ari to deal with Robert and he's yapping. Poor man, there's nothing that will educate him at this point of his life. Let Andrew in. He's good for a laugh sometimes. There's something extremely dark about the fact that MAGA Republicans and conservatives have gone after people like, and I don't care to explain what I mean by like any more than this, but have gone after people like Robert and successfully gotten their loyalty when they hate him, when they actively work against their interests. Everything that Robert says he just wants, he doesn't realize is what socialists and leftists are fighting for.
Yeah, they don't get it. And he, even when I asked him, he's like, what's socialism? And he's like, it's to me, it's communism. Okay, what's communism? No, that's wrong. When I told him, I was like, okay, I can't. Like, you don't know what any of these things are. And that's kind of a problem.
But the thing is like, just because he's a simple man doesn't mean that I don't hold contempt for him. I actually hold a tremendous amount of sympathy. And so what I find so like dark and unpleasant is like, I think this simple guy should be able to get up, put on his boots, go out and do his work, come home and have a satisfying life with an adequate amount of like stimulation, contribution, happiness and everything. And he's voting against that. And so it's like, yeah, I can be mad at him because he voted for Trump, but he didn't know better. And I actually am mad at the people who took advantage of that poor man. Anyway, Tony says ban Andrew for the glob, love of glob, please ban Drew. Rivka, by the way, Andrew, it looks like you're not getting through. Sorry, you can go try Forest Stream because we only have a minute left and I have more of these to read. So bye, Andrew. Rivka says, all I want for Christmas is to not listen to another word of Andrew's vile word vomit. Alosa says, how much will it take to ban Andrew from New Jersey? Hashtag ban Drew. Ongoing donations is what it takes. And you succeeded tonight. Bradley says, come on, do an Ari only Andrew call. He needs to talk to more women since he thinks all they're good for is family caretaking. I was open to the idea because Ari, you haven't had Andrew from New Jersey yet, right?
No, we did the very first time.
Oh, never mind. That's enough.
Yeah.
Misha says, let Andrew in. It's likely the one chance he has in 2025 to talk to a woman. I feel bad for Robert, and I don't feel bad for Andrew because he's a terrible person. Let him in. Yeah, Andrew has demonstrated enough cognitive ability, not intelligence, but cognitive ability, that he's not left off the hook for being a bad guy. Zozo Mandy says, if you talk to an older person, especially one from the South or Appalachia, you'll discover they're socialists who've been taught it's a dirty word. Yeah, I've seen such a thing. Mandy, I don't know if you were here for the call earlier. I went to school. I went to middle school. I went to elementary school in a couple of places, but included in that was Tennessee and Florida. And then I went to middle school in Florida and Louisiana, junior high to high school. I started junior high and high school in Louisiana. And then most of my high schooling was done in Wyoming, where I also then started college in high school because I hated high school. Yeah, I've been around them. I know. If you get them to sit down, I just wish we had a system where it's like you're just not like companies aren't allowed to just exploit. Like I'm busting my ass, but all I can get, I don't even have enough money to buy Mountain Dew. Like it's guys, exactly.
That's exactly what we want too. You got to read that last one from Megan, though. That one's funny.
Megan says, hi, Summer, W-R-E-L Polly. I don't know what that is.
Summer is my dog.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, I'm Ari. Yes. Polly is my partner.
Got it. See, on this channel, because of the things we covered, I thought Megan was like saying, which guy was the one hitting on you? Was it Tony?
Yeah.
Was like, it's an L for Polly or L for Tony that he doesn't have a chance because Ari's not Polly. Because we talk about that kind of shit on this. But there's a variety of things on the line, especially over on Chewed Gum. Polly stuff comes up quite a bit. Oh, no. So I didn't get it. So your partner is named Polly.
That's his screen name that's his social media name.
Got it. Okay. And P-O-L-Y is his social media name?
Polly Politics.
I got to imagine that this has been he's had to explain a lot that he doesn't mean he's Polly. Or I don't know. I haven't never asked you guys. Maybe I don't know.
He only goes into his story like once every 6 months when he feels like it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, everybody, that was the show. Go watch Forrest. And who's on with Forrest? Can somebody tell me in chat? Forrest and who? Luthien, do you know?
More if I get to it first.
Hell yeah.
Forrest and Austin?
Austin. Yeah. Oh, that's going to be a heck of a team. Forrest and Austin Archer. Yes, I am a Mormon Air Force brat. You are quite correct. All right. That's the show. Bye.
Bye. I can't speak.